Yeah. What's good, you guys? This is your boy Tone DeShields II. You guys are locked in on Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Let me adjust my seat real quick. I want to make sure you guys see yours truly. I appreciate you guys for always locking in on the content. I can never take it for granted. You guys have been amazing. You guys have been locked in on the merchandise. You guys have been locked in on the giveaways as well. You guys have been hitting that like button. You guys have been subscribing. You guys have been commenting, keeping the engagement high. Can't take it for granted at all. So I really do appreciate you guys for locking in on the content. And I truly got a lot of love for y'all, man. So make sure you guys stay active. Make sure you guys continue to tune into every time we go live, because you never know when you could potentially be a winner. You never know when you could potentially be the one to take home or receive a giveaway from Chalk It Up Sports. And I do want to remind you guys, our previous winner whose gift is en route to her location is Keisha White. I want to give another shout out to our loyal subscriber here, our loyal viewer, Keisha White. She's amazing. She's tremendous. And she has been our third giveaway winner thus far. Keisha has received her tracking number. Keisha and I have been corresponding via email to make sure she gets her gift. And I think it's going to be there by Tuesday. Last time I checked the tracking information. So Keisha, if you're listening, your gift should be there by Tuesday. So I really do appreciate you for participating. And again, it could be you, right? Make sure you guys lock in. And I'm going to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to win a gift. So I'm not doing repeat winners, right? The goal is to avoid that at all costs. And I want to make sure everyone gets an opportunity to win, right? But I do want to give another special shout out to my previous giveaway winners. Jameer Adams' gift has arrived as well. I checked that tracking information, so he should have received that. And also, last but not least, I want to give a shout out to my man Mark Johnson. Mark is the first one to send in his official photo of his prize, his giveaway, his gift from Chalk It Up Sports. I got to give a lot of love, and I got to give a shout out to my man Mark Johnson. Let's just get right into it, man. Mark Johnson, he sent me a picture with his gift. Mark received the trademark, the authentic Kelly Green snapback from me. Shout out to my man Mark Johnson for showing mad love and for throwing on the gear, man. You look good, Mark. I gotta be honest, man. You look good with the Kelly Green jersey. You look good with the Kelly Green hat, and I'm so happy that you appreciate your gift, and I'm grateful that you received the gift, and I'm even grateful that you guys give me the platform to be able to do this kind of stuff for you guys. So again, shout out to my man Mark Johnson for receiving his gift. It looks dope. It looks great, and he's going to have a hell of a season. And the Philadelphia Eagles are going to have a hell of a season as well. So let's get right into the content. Mark, I appreciate you, my friend. And again, you guys, this could be you. This could be you, right? You could be next in receiving your gift from yours truly at Chalk It Up Sports. Just make sure you guys lock in every time we go live. We usually try to do the giveaways at least once or twice a week, usually once a week. And there's going to be more giveaways. We're going to be giving away stuff throughout training camp, preseason, throughout the regular season, throughout the playoffs, and even when we get to that ever so glorious Super Bowl. So again, you guys, make sure you lock in so you don't miss out on your opportunity. And by the way, right, I do want to make sure that we're doing this justice here. I want to make sure that you guys are fully aware of what's available to you guys, right? I want to make sure you guys know that we have merch available. We have merch available for you guys. Make sure you guys go lock in on the Chalk It Up Sports merch shop. There you can find the exclusive Apex Predator Jalen Hurts oversized t-shirt. You guys know what an Apex Predator is. There's no one above you. There's no one on the food chain above you. You can't be defeated. You dictate the terms. You dictate the action. That's what it means to be an Apex Predator. You feel me? The bald eagle. The Philadelphia Eagles are the Apex Predators of the NFL, and they're going to have to take us off our high horse. They're going to have to kill us if they think we ain't coming for what's ours. You feel what I'm saying? So make sure you guys go get your authentic Apex Predator merchandise. Like I said to you guys, I have it on right now. I have on the black shirt that you see here, and also it comes in tan, otherwise known as eucalyptus. So make sure you guys go get that for yourselves. It looks great. The fabric feels great. The artwork blends great into the fabric, feels good on the skin. I'm wearing an extra large. It's an oversized style. So make sure you guys lock in on that. And I really do appreciate all the support you guys give, man. It means a lot to me. All right. Enough with the pleasantries here, right? Enough with the promotion. Let's get into the content. Now, I want to make something very, very clear to you guys. Right? What I'm about to say next is not rooted in hate. It's not rooted in disrespect. It's not rooted in any sort of disenchantment. But we have to be honest, right? And you guys all saw the thumbnail. I don't see it. I don't see a situation where Nakobe Dean wins that starting spot. I just don't. I'm not seeing it. And I know some people will respond and say, hey, it's still early in training camp. We haven't even gone past the first preseason game yet, Tone. Give the guy a chance. I understand your sentiment. And I'm not even going to dismiss your sentiment. I'm going to respect it. I'm going to catalog it. And I'm going to take it with a grain of salt. But quite frankly, Nakobe Dean has done nothing to shift the narrative that's surrounding his very young NFL career. There's nothing he's done so far to make me feel otherwise about his standing on his team. As a matter of fact, I want to take you guys back to the opening practice, right? At Lincoln Financial Field, the public practice. I want to take you guys back to that day. There was a couple moments when Nakobe Dean just looked foolish out there. And again, I'm not trying to disrespect this brother because I understand. Matter of fact, let me frame it this way. I can never be in his shoes. Y'all know I keep it real here. I could never stand in that man's shoes. I could never take the beating that brother has taken throughout his football career. The path he's walked, that path was perfectly laid for him. And the path I walk is perfectly laid for me. But I love this game of football. I am a huge supporter of the Philadelphia Eagles. I've been an Eagles fan since 1994. It's in my blood. It's in my genes. I see the level of investment my city has given to that team, that organization. I see the level of investment that my fellow citizens have given to the team, buying the merch, supporting them at the games, buying the tickets, the parking, the concessions, donating to the Autism Foundation, showing up to every event, the tailgating. Philadelphia Eagles culture is blue collar. The Philadelphia Eagles, that city, my city, that I grew up in, born and raised, I'm 29 years old. All I know is Philadelphia. I recently moved to Texas, but I'm Philly to the death of me. North Philly, born and raised, 23rd and Dolphin. Holla at me. By way of 33rd and York. En route to 5th and Alany. Yeah. So the point I'm trying to get across to you guys is, although the seat I sit in is nothing like the seat that Nakobe Dean's sitting in, and we lead two different lives, I still feel that I can have an opinion about the Philadelphia Eagles team that we invest in year after year after year. And as of right now, my opinion is this: Nakobe Dean is not looking like the player that the Philadelphia Eagles thought he was. He's not. He's not looking like that Georgia product that we drafted. The thought process was he would be able to benefit from having Jordan Davis in front of him. They were supposed to be some sort of a package deal because of the way they played in Georgia or at Georgia. And as of right now, some people have their questions about Jordan Davis, but that's not what this is about, right? when it comes to Nakobe Dean, I'm noticing that more and more people are falling out of favor with him. And like I said, I want to take it back a couple days. I want to remind you guys of the public practice that a lot of you guys went to. My father was there. My father and his homie Al was there. Shout out to Al. It's a good brother. My dad was there. And I said, hey, Dad, how was it? What did you see? He said, first of all, the environment was electric. Almost 50,000 people there. It felt like a real game. The players look smooth. They look good. They look healthy. I said, what about that defense? What about linebacker, right? What did you see? He said, defense, it's young, but they're flying around. They're athletic. They're making plays, but that linebacker position, it can use some work. I said, really? He says, yes. I said, is there anybody in particular that makes you uncomfortable? Is there anybody in particular that you saw on that football field that just kind of seemed like they were out of it a little bit? He said, well, first of all, I like Devin White. And again, this is my father's telling me. He says, I like Devin White. But there was a couple times where this one player got beat one too many times. I'm like, who was it? He said, I forget his name. I said, okay, well, do you remember the number he was wearing? Do you remember the number he was wearing at the very least? He said, yeah, small dude, number 17. I said, number 17. Huh. He said, what? I said, number 17 is Nakobe Dean. We drafted him a few years ago. He was supposed to be this player out of Georgia, but so far, no dice. And so I did my own little research, right? And come to find out, Nakobe Dean got beat on a couple plays where he was just quite out of position. He just didn't make a good decision. I want to go back to the second team session, the twos versus the twos during that public practice. There was a situation where Dean had an opportunity to tackle Kenny Gainwell. There was an opportunity where Dean had an opportunity to tackle Kenny Gainwell. And unfortunately, and real quick, you guys, I'm going to get to all your comments, by the way, right? We have 58 people on the live stream and counting. Make sure you guys smash that like button on the way in, and make sure you guys subscribe as well in case you're on the way out. So, and I'm going to get to all your comments, everybody's. This is a fan-friendly show here. The twos versus twos. Dean had an opportunity to tackle Kenny Gainwell, and he missed the tackle. As a matter of fact, he over-pursued. Kenny Gainwell took advantage, and he hit Nakobe Dean with the nastiest of jukes. This is what I've read. This is what I've heard. I can't make this up. I may not get paid to evaluate. That may not be my specialty. But damn it, I'm going to do a lot of reading. I'm going to do a lot of research. I'm going to ask around. I'm going to do my due diligence to make sure I'm not just spewing nonsense. So again, it's a public practice. The stakes aren't that high. But from what I've read, Nick Sirianni wanted that public practice to resemble as close to a game as it could. That practice was expected to go maybe an hour and a half. They practiced for well over 2 hours. So shout out to them. So although the stakes are not high in that public practice, God damn it, the stakes are high for the Philadelphia Eagles for the 2024 season. So wake up. Wake up. if you feel otherwise. The stakes are high. A lot of money has been spent. Draft capital has been invested. We don't have time for those who can't do their job on a basic level. Nonetheless, Nakobe Dean got beat by Kenny Gainwell for a solid game. Okay, everybody gets beat every now and again. It happens, right? Everybody get beat every now and again. So when I first read that first thing, I was like, okay, all right, I'm not going to overreact. So then I continue to read. I continue to investigate. And lo and behold, another situation, another moment comes where Nakobe Dean does not do his job at a high level. There was a situational period that they called for. 46 seconds left in the game. Your team is down 8 points on the 25-yard line, the plus 25-yard line, meaning you're approaching the red zone. You have a chance to score a touchdown and score a 2-point conversion. Tie the game. The first team offense was out there. And lo and behold, listen to this. Situational period, 46 seconds left in the game, down 8 points on the 25-yard line. Offense, what are you going to do? Defense, what are you going to do? The first team offense ended up scoring a touchdown on a perfect Jalen Hurts pass to Kenny Gainwell. Jalen Hurts has been in his bag. Jalen Hurts has been illustrious in training camp. That has to translate to the regular season, of course. So we're not going to overreact, but we're going to appreciate what Jalen Hurts has been doing. He's been accurate. He's been poised. He's been making great decisions. So we're going to appreciate what he has done thus far. We're not going to overreact, but we're going to be grateful that we're seeing good things and hearing good things and not otherwise. But nonetheless, Jalen Hurts hits Kenny Gainwell for a perfect pass. Kenny Gainwell beat Nakobe Dean on a wheel route. Touchdown. Just flat out beat him. Once again, although it's practice, it's a scrimmage, they're trying things out. The reality is Nakobe Dean is not in the first team rotation for linebacker right now. As a matter of fact, Zach Bond continues to get the first team reps ahead of Nakobe Dean. Every now and again, you see Nakobe Dean get rotated in because I think they're genuinely trying to find out if this kid can hack it. They're giving him every opportunity to win that job. And we have not heard anything, not one iota, from any reporter, from any journalist, from any radio host. We have not heard anything from anybody that's close to the situation say anything remotely positive about Nakobe Dean yet. That's the reality, people. We can't be blinded by our infatuation with the player. We cannot try to convince ourselves somebody is one thing when they're showing us they're another. And once again, we have not even gone through the first preseason game yet. So although I feel how I feel today, is there an opportunity for Nakobe Dean to change the narrative? Why not? Sure. Sure, he has an opportunity to change the narrative. Sure. But do I think he will? No. No, I don't. And I had high hopes for Nakobe Dean. When we drafted him in the third round, I was pretty excited about that. Me personally, I was more of a Devin Lloyd guy. If you guys remember, Devin Lloyd out of Utah played in the Pac-12. He was in the same draft class as Nakobe Dean, and they were touted as being linebacker 1 and linebacker 2, linebacker 1A and linebacker 1B. Which linebacker is going to have the better career? A lot of people had Nakobe Dean as a first-round talent. He fell to the third round because of injuries, right? Me personally, you can check. You can check my history. You can check my resume. You can dig on my channel. I did a comparison video comparing Devin Lloyd to Nakobe Dean. And I made it very clear my preference is Devin Lloyd because he has better physical tools at the position. He's bigger, better in coverage, longer body. I was a Devin Lloyd guy. Nonetheless, Devin Lloyd was drafted in the first round by the Jaguars, and Nakobe Dean was drafted by the Eagles in the third round. Look at that disparity. First round, third round. Devin Lloyd has proven that he can play at the NFL level. We've seen it. We played against the Jaguars. He can play. Nakobe Dean, year one, no grass time. Year two, tried to give him grass time, even gave him the green dot, broke both his feet. Let me not say broke. That's a little bit overzealous. Fractured, stress fracture, whatever you want to call it, Liz Frank. He tore up both his feet. Not just one, but two. Landed on IR twice. A non-factor. Was being outplayed by Nicholas Morrow. Was being outplayed by Zach Cunningham. The Eagles even went out and got another linebacker in Shaq Leonard. Nakobe Dean enters year three. Does he have an opportunity to win a starting job? Sure. But he can't even outplay Zach Bond right now. And Zach Bond is a former special teamer for the Saints who would get sporadic starting time throughout his career. And then he got the most consistent starting time he ever had last season. I believe Zach Bond finished out the season for the Saints. He started like the last 5 or 6 games, and he was pretty productive. Got sacks, got interceptions, got forced fumbles, tackles for loss. He was everywhere. He upped his stock. The Eagles took a chance on him. Okay. All right. And when Zach Bond got here, I said to myself, you know what? It's something about Zach Bond that I like. A lot of people laughed at me. And I'm not saying Zach Bond is going to be a Pro Bowler. I'm not saying Zach Bond is going to be this world beater. Don't get it misconstrued. I'm comparing Zach Bond and Nakobe Dean to the people in the room, in the building. Nobody else. And as of right now, Nakobe Dean can't even outplay or outperform Zach Bond. Zach Bond has earned the trust of Vic Fangio. That's the reality. And on top of that, it doesn't help. It does not help that we're beginning to hear positive things about Jeremiah Trotter Jr. as well. It doesn't help that Jeremiah Trotter is starting to make a couple plays in his own right. As a matter of fact, there was a play during the public practice where Jeremiah Trotter Jr., he was on the second team, and he was rushing the passer. He was rushing Kenny Pickett, and he beat Will Shipley, who tried to block. He beat him, which earned Jeremiah Trotter Jr. a sack on Kenny Pickett. Now, obviously, Kenny Pickett isn't a great decision maker with the football. He's getting beat out by Tanner McKee right now. Tanner McKee got second-team reps today at training camp. Tanner McKee is operating the offense at a higher level. That's what we're seeing. That's what we're hearing. That's what many people are seeing. But nonetheless, I digress. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. has made a few waves more than Nakobe Dean has. Zach Bond, same thing. Devin White, same thing. So I'm just going off of the trends. I'm going off of what we know. I'm going off of what we heard, what we've read, what we've seen. I cannot sit here and lie to the general public and pretend that I'm not worried about Nakobe Dean. I cannot lie to you, and I refuse to. I'm sorry. And I have a ton of respect for Nakobe Dean. I have a ton of respect for the work he puts in. I have a ton of respect for the sacrifices he's made, sacrificing mind, body, and soul for the game. I respect the grind. because I know it's something that I can never do. I have reverence for athletes. I believe athletes are our modern day gladiators. I'm a supporter for a reason. He's a player for a reason. We don't breathe the same air, and I understand that, and I respect my position, and I respect his. But this is a season where the Philadelphia Eagles are trying to win a Super Bowl. And the linebacker position has habitually been their weakest position over the past several seasons. They have not had a consistent linebacker play in a long time. And the Eagles thought Nakobe Dean was the answer. He's entering year 3. Since he was drafted in the 3rd round, he's on a 4-year deal. What's the outcome for Nakobe Dean? As a matter of fact, is there a situation where the Eagles decide, you know what? Let's cut our losses before his stock drops below a point of no return. Is there a scenario where the Philadelphia Eagles try to move Nakobe Dean? Ooh. I know that sent a chill down your spine. I know that's not a conversation we've had yet. Maybe it's a frivolous conversation. Maybe it's a conversation that has no legs. But is there a situation? Is there a situation or an angle that Harry Roseman can work and move on from him? Who knows? Does he have value? Probably not. Probably not, but he's young still. That's his value. He's young still. And that's a shame. At best, his value is he's young. He's smart. He's a great team guy. At best, that's his value. So I hope Nakobe Dean can turn the tide. He has an opportunity here still, despite my reservations, because I'm not a specialist. I'm just an enthusiast. That's all I am. I'm simply an enthusiast of the game, of the sport. And I simply want the best for the Philadelphia Eagles organization. But as of today, my faith level in Nakobe Dean is very, very low. And if he proves me wrong, we still have training camp left. We still have 3 preseason games left. A lot can change. I understand. A lot can change. But I can't see the future. I don't have a crystal ball here. I can only operate off what we know, what we've seen, what we've heard, what we've read. And if so far, Nakobe Dean has not proven or shown that he can start in the NFL and even last a full season in the NFL. And that, my friends, is alarming. I want to get to your comments here. Make sure you guys smash the like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the show. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II. You guys are tuned in to Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Like I said, I want to get to some of your comments here. Give me one moment. Give me one moment here. All right. Nick Spicer says, don't forget about Ben Van Sumeren. Ben Van Sumeren, the Eagles like him. Young, athletic, aggressive. We'll see what he could turn into. We'll definitely see. Ray Lester, welcome to the show, my friend. He said, I watched the NFL for 50 years, and good linebackers matter. A lot on defense. I couldn't agree with you more, my friend. I couldn't agree with you more. Jonathan Cook says Nakobe Dean is too little. Yeah, man. His size has truly had an impact on his performance in a negative way. He can't take the beating so far. Davon Tyree says, we got to wait, Tone. Let's see what the preseason offers for Dean. Technically, you're right, Davon. Technically, you're right. So I'm not going to sit here and say you're wrong. Technically, you are very right. We have to wait and see. But as of today, I'm not optimistic about that, brother. And I mean that, I mean that with the utmost respect. My man Philly Flyover, hope all is well. He says, I don't think anyone wants an injury-prone guy that ain't good. Yeah, especially at middle linebacker. I agree with you, Philly. They also shout out to my man Trey979. He's been posting my links in the live chat. I really do appreciate you, Trey. Thank you so much for supporting the show. It means a lot. Brian Power says Nakobe can play special teams. Sure. But we're looking for a starting linebacker, Bryant. That's what they expected him to become. That's what they're trying to force feed us. So can he play special teams? Sure. I don't want to take that away from him. And he may make the roster simply because of that. But as of right now, he's not a starter in this NFL. Mark Johnson, what's going on, my friend? Shout out to my man, Mark Johnson. He says, Dean is no London Fletcher. Hey, man, Mark Johnson, real quick, thank you so much for sending me the photo, man. I told you guys we're going to promote our giveaway winners here. This is my man, Mark Johnson. He received the Kelly Green snapback from me via the giveaway. He's one of my 3 giveaway winners thus far through our training camp. I'm grateful for Mark for being a loyal subscriber, a loyal listener. He hits the like button all the time. He supports the show. He's subscribed. He's active in the live chat. He comes in every single time I'm here. So I really do appreciate Mark Johnson for being a loyal guy. This is him with his prize, that Kelly Green Eagle snapback. Shout out to my man, Mark Johnson. Shout out to Mark Johnson. He says, Dean is no London Fletcher. You ain't never lied, Mark. He ain't nowhere near that. He's not even half what London Fletcher is or was. Ray Lester says, young but not available on game day. Ain't that the truth? Try Integrity Inc. says, nah, he ain't going nowhere. Cheap rookie contract with a position at subpar. I mean, I understand. I understand your mindset. You don't want to just get rid of bodies, but they're looking for a starter at that position, and that ain't him right now. But I do understand your angle that you're trying to get across here. Ray Lester also says if he doesn't show up this season, he's a bust. And I don't think anyone will want him to Tone. That's true. As Blunt says, what's his trade value? Which coincides with what Ray Lester said. At best, his trade value is that he's young. At best, that's his trade value. Shout out to my man S. Blunt for being in the building. Hope you had a good vacation. Lou Branch says it is what it is. Howie needs to make a move. Yeah, man. As of right now, Devin White and Zach Bond are the starting linebackers. So we'll see where it goes from there. Jonathan Cook says that is possible. Yeah. Could he be trade bait? You never know. Could they package him somehow? Integrity says Howie better be checking all teams for a linebacker. Man, linebacker position is a little shaky. That's the reality. We got to keep it real. We have no idea what Devin White has left. We don't know what Zach Bond is going to look like in this defense. There's a lot of question marks around that linebacker position. Lou Branch says anyone that's not worried isn't paying attention. Facts. Ray Lester says Dean isn't needed on special teams. We need tacklers in the middle of our defense. I agree, man. Like I said, special teams, okay, but we need ballers. Kyle Kokorski says, Tone, why do I feel like Bond is going to be like a Kaiser White type? I think that's an upgrade from what we had last season, right? Kaiser White was solid. Kaiser White was a solid player for the Eagles. I don't care what nobody say. I'm not going to sit here and say he was a Pro Bowler, but he was solid. That combination with Kaiser White and TJ Edwards, it worked. All right. Jonathan Cook says Dean is a special teamer. Matthew Peter says Dean is gone. Austin says, watch your cookies, Nakobe Dean. Oh, man. Ray Lester says Jeremiah Trotter Jr. is a natural, even if he's undersized. Yeah. Crawley says Dean is done. Coach Corey says, give me Zach Cunningham over Nakobe Dean. Ain't that the truth? I'm surprised the Eagles didn't try to bring him back. Bold Bruce says, let's see what happens in the preseason. I feel you. I feel you. I hear you. And I'm not gonna. I hear you. We'll see though. I'm not optimistic though. Ray Lester says, I'm surprised Cunningham isn't still on the roster. Yeah, I agree with you, actually. Bond said, Coach Corey, my man, he says, Bond is another Howie Dollar Store special. But better than D. Oh, man. Ross and Found, thank you so much for the $2 donation, my friend. You know, I saw you donate earlier. And I definitely didn't want you to think I forgot about you, my friend. Ross and Found, thank you so much. I hope you're still here watching the show. Thank you so much for your $2 donation. He says, I have linebacker and edge as our biggest weakness. I'm glad you said linebacker and edge. Obviously, we're talking about the linebacker position, but I have a proposal for you guys later on to see what you think about it. And I'm going to give you guys the idea, and then I'm going to tell you where I stand on the idea. But to your point, Ross and Found, the word is that Joey Bosa could potentially be on the trade block. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm going to get into that later. But thank you, Ross and Found. I really do appreciate you, my friend, for donating to the show. Hopefully it's not the last time. Ray Lester says 5 games in 2 seasons. He hasn't progressed at all. What can you expect from him? Bryant Power says, don't leave out that he can't cover tight ends. You're right. You're right, man. You're right. My dad, my father, Antonio DeShields Sr., he says, yes, I was at the Eagles practice, and Dean worries me. I'm telling you. My dad was there. A lot of people were there. They all saw what we all read. They all saw what they saw. Nakobe Dean got cooked more than he should have by Kenny Gainwell. And I'm not trying to disrespect Kenny Gainwell. I heard Kenny Gainwell's having a pretty good camp. But you got burnt and you got cooked by Kenny Gainwell. You guys be the judge. All right. Where's my let's see what we got here. Let's keep the content flowing. I really do appreciate you guys for being here. Make sure you guys continue to smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the show. Really, really, really do appreciate you guys. My man Joey Shakes is in the building. Make sure you guys lock in on Joey Shakes. You guys know he does an amazing job. Joey says, Dean worried me after that open practice. He looked like he can't cover or take any angle on the tackle. I don't know. Maybe it's too early. And that's the crazy thing about it, Joey. Although you and I agree with this thing, is it too early? Is it? I'm trying to be judicial about this thing, but I'm not optimistic. So, yes, the reality is they haven't even played a preseason game yet. They haven't even had a joint practice yet. That's the reality. We haven't seen him in live football game action in quite some time. Could he Could he come alive in a preseason game? It's entirely possible. Can he up his stock in those games? It's entirely possible. But as of today, I'm not optimistic at all. I got Zach Bond starting next to Devin White when the season starts. That's honestly where I'm at. So, Joey, I'm with you on that. Joey also says Kenny Gainwell looks good. I can't lie. That's what I'm hearing. Kenny Gainwell is having a good camp. So it's no shocker that he did what he did to Nakobe Dean. And now it makes me think about what it could potentially look like with a Saquon Barkley and a motivated Kenny Gainwell, who's in the contract year, who's looking to get paid by somebody. Now, the Eagles obviously have leverage right now. Would Kenny Gainwell get a decent contract on the open market? I'm not too sure about that. He hasn't proven that he can be a lead back. So, there's a chance that the Eagles may bring back Kenny Gainwell at a very team-friendly deal. It all remains to be seen. Most of the time, in a guy like Kenny Gainwell situation, you don't want to overextend your hand. You don't want to play yourself and hit the open market, and you don't really get the numbers you're looking for. Maybe the best contract he'll ever see may be from the Philadelphia Eagles. But the Philadelphia Eagles, remember, they don't really invest in the running back position unless they feel like they should. So Kenny Gainwell, although he's looking good, and I hope he has a good season, I'm really curious to see what that combination looks like with him and Saquon Barkley. I don't even know what Kenny Gainwell's future holds. But so far, let's hope what he's doing now can translate to the regular season. My man S. Blunt with the $1.99 donation. S. Blunt, thank you so much for donating to the channel. I appreciate your support, my friend. It means a lot to me. He says, more than Dean, Eagles' philosophy issue with the linebacker. Yes. Their whole perspective on the linebacker position is flawed. The way they value the position, it's underwhelming. It's underwhelming. So, today, so far, we have to work with what we have today, as of today. But you're right, as Blunt, their philosophy on the linebacker position is extremely flawed. And there's going to come a time where you got to just bite the bullet and draft the linebacker high. Don't just draft the linebacker high, so you ain't got to worry about the position for a long time. Or if there's a guy in free agency that you like, pay him. So we ain't got to stress about that no more. All right. You see this Nakobe Dean topic is so deep, man, and you guys are really engaged in it. You guys are really engaged, and I really do appreciate you guys. Corey says they gave Dean the green dot last year. That's wild. I'm with you on that. They just gave it to him. Function says, I hate to break it to us, but I think we're stuck with Nakobe Dean. Oh, man. Function. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. But yeah, shout out to my man. Shout out to the good brothers S. Blunt for donating to the channel. I appreciate him. And shout out to Ross and Found for donating to the channel as well. I really do appreciate you both. If you guys want to donate to the channel, you guys have the opportunity to do so via super chat, via super chat or super sticker. Entirely up to you guys. And also, I want to give a shout out to my viewers who are watching this live stream after the fact. Maybe you couldn't watch it live. Totally good with me. You guys can also donate to the channel if you like, via super sticker in the comment section. So all the love you guys do, man. All the love you guys provide is amazing. I really do appreciate you guys. So make sure you guys continue to stay locked on the content. I want to get off of this Nakobe Dean topic. I don't want to beat a dead horse, and I don't want it to seem like I'm picking on the guy. I want to move on from this topic here. I do have something else I want to talk to you guys about. I want to discuss the stock of Milton Williams. But before we do so, make sure you guys smash that like button. Like my man Coach Corey said, we have 100 people in the live stream right now. Make sure you guys smash that like button. It means a lot to me. The like button is currency in this content game. It pushes the envelope forward. It pushes the culture and the content forward. What we're building here, it allows more people to find us. So make sure you guys hit that like button and exercise your power as the consumer, right? Most of the time, consumers don't really understand how powerful they are, right? You know, you have some companies, you have some brands, you have some content creators who don't necessarily make viewers privy to their power as consumers. And you guys make this ship float. You guys make this engine run, right? So without you guys, the content can't move forward. I'll be speaking into a void. Now, granted, I will still be doing what I'm doing regardless, but it helps when people are watching. So make sure you guys continue to smash that like button as well. It means a lot to me. So shout out to my man, Coach Corey, for reminding you guys of that. It means a lot, man. And also make sure you guys check out the link pinned to the top of the live chat. And you'll also see under the video, under the live stream, you'll see some links to some official Chalk It Up Sports merchandise. There you'll be able to get your exclusive Apex Predator Chalk It Up Sports oversized tee. I'm wearing the black one here. It's really comfortable. It's the oversized style. I'm wearing an extra large, and it just falls on me perfectly. And I also have the tan version, otherwise known as eucalyptus. Make sure you guys go check that out. It's a really cool design here. Shout out to my man Jesse Wines. You guys have an opportunity to claim this for yourself. So I appreciate all the support you guys provide the show. All the links are in the live chat. Nonetheless, let's move on to my next topic here. I want to talk to you guys about a player that we all love. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, you guys. By the way, I'm doing giveaways all throughout training camp, all throughout preseason, all throughout the regular season, the playoffs, the Super Bowl. I'm doing giveaways all season. And so far, I've done 3 giveaways, right? And I want to give a shout out to the good brother, Mark Johnson. Mark Johnson is one of my giveaway winners. He was one of the lucky winners to win an authentic Kelly Green Eagle snapback. So shout out to my man, Mark Johnson, for being a loyal subscriber, investing in my channel, and being really active. And it could be you one day. Shout out to Keisha White. Her gift is on the way. Should be there by Tuesday. Jameer Adams, his gift was delivered as well. So we're in a good space here. You guys invest in me. You guys hit that like button. You guys donate to the channel. I'm giving away stuff. I'm giving away hats. You feel what I'm saying? I'm giving away winter gear. You feel what I'm saying? I'm going to be giving away Eagles pillows. It's up. We having a good off season thus far, and make sure you guys tune into the live streams so you can potentially be one of the lucky winners. That's how we're doing it here. We're going to be doing giveaways pretty much once a week. We're going to be doing it pretty much once a week here. Right? There may be a week where I give away 2 items. There may be a week where I only give away 1. But you want to make sure you're on the right side of things, like my man Mark Johnson here, Jameer Adams, Keisha White, holding it down. So, again, I appreciate you guys. Now, let's get to the topic, like I said. Sorry about bearing the lead here. Milton Williams. I want to talk about Milton Williams with you guys. Milton Williams is a player that we all love. As a matter of fact, Milton Williams is in a contract year with the Philadelphia Eagles right now. And he was a rookie. They drafted Milton Williams in, I want to say, they drafted Milton Williams in 2021. Milton Williams is entering year 4 of his rookie deal. He's been healthy for the Philadelphia Eagles consistently. And he's been a rotational DT / defensive end for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's not the biggest dude at the position. He's 6'3", 290. He's more of a tweener, a Louisiana Tech product, 25 years old, 6'3", 290, like I said. But, man, he's a bully. He's a bully. That's like a bulldog in the trenches. And whatever opportunities he got, he took advantage of them. He took advantage of them. You know, he learned a lot from playing behind Fletcher Cox. You know, playing with Ndamukong Suh, Linval Joseph. He's played with some decorated guys in this league. And Milton Williams is looking at an opportunity here with the Philadelphia Eagles long term. Is there a situation where the Philadelphia Eagles extend Milton Williams, right? What does that look like? Now, the reality is Milton Williams currently makes an average salary of $1.2 million, right? And in 2024, he's going to have a base salary of $3.1 million. Milton Williams is making $3 million this year with the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I must tell you guys, the defensive tackle position, is making a lot of money at this point. Defensive tackle contracts are looking like wide receiver contracts. D tackles are making wide receiver money now, right? And the reality is there a situation where Milton Williams doesn't come back to Philadelphia because he wants to maximize his value, because the value of the position has skyrocketed to new heights? The word around town, again, I do a lot of reading. I read everything. I read a ton of articles. I keep up with my peers. You know, I keep up with the training camp updates. And sorry, you guys, if you're experiencing any sort of glitches during the live stream. Wi-Fi is a little bit shaky. It's starting to stabilize a little bit. So make sure you guys stick around. Please smash that like button when you get the chance. But Milton Williams, the word is that he's been having a very, very productive training camp. He's been very disruptive, not only in run defense, but also as a pass rusher. I would like to believe that Milton Williams understands the assignment, especially with Fletcher Cox not being here, and the Eagles investing a lot of capital in, or a lot of equity in, Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. Milton Williams has an opportunity here to get significant snaps, more snaps than he probably ever got in his career. And he has an opportunity to up his value to heights that maybe we didn't foresee. And there were moments where Milton Williams stole snaps from Jordan Davis because Milton was more consistent, or Milton was making more of an impact in the pass rush. Milton was in shape. You see, that's the dope thing about Milton Williams, right? We've never had any questions about Milton Williams, and I think that speaks to his preparation. That speaks to his mindset. He's low key. We don't ever hear anything from or about Milton Williams, but we're gonna give Milton Williams some flowers today. Like I said, this is a big year for him for a couple of reasons. Fletcher Cox is gone now, so he's become the veteran at his position. Basically, he's entering year 4. Jordan Davis is entering year 3. Jalen Carter is entering year 2. Moro Ojomo entering year 2. Marlon T, I think, is entering year 4 as well, if I'm not mistaken, actually. Marlon T, he's 25 years old as well. He's entering year 4. Marlon Tuipulotu, and Milton Williams were in the same 2021 draft class. Those two are the veterans in the room. But again, this is about Milton Williams here. This is a big season for him for a couple reasons. Fletcher Cox is gone, so he's got to step his weight up. And on top of that, he gets more opportunity to shine. And most notably, he's entering the contract year. And we haven't heard any reports that the Eagles have offered him anything. But we know how the Philadelphia Eagles like to do business. The Philadelphia Eagles like to get ahead of things when it comes to paying guys, right? Although we haven't heard any reports of Milton Williams being offered an extension, I wouldn't be surprised if Harry Roseman and Milton Williams' representation had conversations about an extension. And I wouldn't be surprised if Milton Williams is deciding to bet on himself in 2024. Can you blame him, though? Can you blame him? He's had a clean bill of health for his whole career. He's always prepared. He protects himself. He does his job very well. He believes he can take. He believes this is a major opportunity for him with Fletcher Cox not being there to get more snaps, to make a bigger impact, to potentially get a pretty decent DT contract. Like I said, the defensive tackle position, they're making crazy money right now. Let's just look at some of the defensive tackle salaries. Let's just take a quick look, you guys, before we continue. I want you guys to see this with your own freaking eyes. This is the kind of money defensive tackles are making right now. Chris Jones leads the pack. $31.75 million. Christian Wilkins signed a huge contract with the Raiders. $27.5 million. Justin Matabuki, $24.5 at Baltimore. Derek Brown in Carolina, $24 million. Quinyon Williams with the Jets, $24 million. Jeffrey Simmons, Tennessee, $23.5 million. DeForest Buckner, $23 million at Indy. Deron Payne with Washington, $22.5. Dexter Lawrence, New York Giants, $21.8. Kenny Clark, Green Bay, $21.3. Javon Hargrave, we know him all too well, $21 million. Christian Barrymore, $20.75 million with the New England Patriots. Jonathan Allen, $18 million, Washington Commanders. Vita Vea, $17.7 million. Ed Oliver, $17 million. Grady Jarrett, $16.8. Dalvin Tomlinson, $14.2. And it goes on and on and on. Now the question becomes, where does Milton Williams fit in with these guys here? What kind of money can Milton Williams secure for himself? It all remains to be seen, depending on how he plays this year. But keep in mind, Milton Williams is relatively an undersized D tackle. He's a tweener. And he can play both inside and outside. He can play. Let me make sure I get this right. He can play the 3 technique. He can play 2-eye. You feel me? You know, it's just one of those things where Milton Williams, he's betting on himself. And I can't get mad at his logic. I really can't. So I'm curious to know what his future may hold in Philadelphia. Because I like Milton Williams. And I would hate to lose him. I would hate to lose him. Because of how steady he's been at the position. I want to get to some of your comments here. We have over 100 people in the live stream. This is spectacular. I really do appreciate you guys for locking in the way you guys have. Goes a long way with me. Shout out to my man, Mike Call. A friend of mine from high school. Good dude, man. Really good dude. Make sure you guys smash that like button, like he said. Shout out to my man, Ross and Found, once again with a donation. He donated $5 this time. So far, Ross has donated $7 to the channel. Thank you so much, Ross, for investing in me and trusting me with your hard-earned dollars, my friend. Thank you. Ross says CJ backing himself into a corner with that press conference. If he is good, he is fiery. But if he's bad, he's cocky. Ross, I hear you, right? I hear you. And here's the crazy thing about it, though. He don't care. Because regardless, rain, sleet, or snow, CJ GJ, he gonna be who he is. And I think that's why I respect it. And then I think that's why I don't believe he's backing himself into a corner. Although I see your perspective, I disagree with it. Because it'd be different if this wasn't authentic, right? It'd be very different if this wasn't, if CJ GJ wasn't authentically being himself. This is who he's been his entire career. This is who he was with the Lions. This is who he was when he was with us. This is who he was when he was with the Saints. So, although that press conference was a little chippy, to say the least, he set the tone. And he made it very clear, very, very clear to the media that I'm not entertaining anything that distracts us from the mission. And like Ray Lester said, although CJ GJ is consistent in who he is, he has to back it up. And I think that's what Ross is saying. I think that's what Ross is saying. And, correct me if I'm wrong, Ross. I feel like basically what you're saying is, although CJ GJ is who he is, you better back it up on the football field. We don't want to see you getting carted off. We don't want to see you when we don't want to see you in the blue tent. You walking it like you talk it. So we better see it. So I think that's basically what my man Ross is saying here. He says, LOL, you right. He don't care. But the press does. And I love the kid. Ray Lester says talk is just talk. That's true. That's true. That's very, very true. You guys are right. Talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. But I guess for me at least, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me that much because that's who he's always been. And quite frankly, we were missing that. To be honest with you guys, we've been missing that. We've been missing somebody. We've been missing somebody that's going to bring that edge. We've been missing somebody on this team that's going to bring that fire on the defense. And although talk is cheap, I like the mindset. I like the fact that he's looking at it from the perspective of, hey, listen, what happened last year is irrelevant. New coaches, new team, new schedule, new season, new yearbook, like he said. You need somebody that's going to set the tone in every situation. He's setting the tone with the media. He's setting the tone with his teammates. There was a tweet. There was a tweet by Zach Berman where he basically quoted what CJ was saying here. I'm going to pull it up on the screen. And this is a little off of the Milton Williams topic, but it's okay. I was pretty much closing that topic down. Listen to this. Let me make this more visible for you guys. Let me zoom in. All right. So this tweet comes by way of Zach Berman. He was obviously at the press conference covering CJ GJ. And CJ GJ had a lot to say in his press conference. And I'm going to read it here for you guys, okay? CJ Gardner-Johnson on his personality in practice. Quote, when it's week 7 against Dallas, Micah Parsons is going to be out there yelling at you. When it's week 1, Xavier McKinney is going to be deep yelling at AJ. When it's Super Bowl, who knows who is on the other side yelling at the whole offensive line. I'm just resembling the same shit you're going to see on the field in practice, in the meeting room, off the field, and on the field. I'm not going to change. You want me to be this, but put this out. Put winner behind to my name and a competitor and a passionate player before you say anything else. I like that. I'll say that again. He says, I'm not going to change. You want me to be this, but put this. Put winner behind my name and a competitor and a passionate player before you say anything else. That's the type of time we on, Philadelphia. That's what we need to hear at this point. It's no time for lollygagging. It's no time for pussyfooting. It's no time for to be passive. This brother understands the assignment, and he understands how good they can potentially be. CJ is looking at that Eagles offense, and he's saying to himself, yo, we got a real shot here to do this. We got a real shot to do it big. Why would I ever approach this situation with any other energy? Why would I ever come into this season and not be as confident as I could be? CJ has an obligation here to bring that heat. And I think we all know that as a fan base. I think we all know that. And we all appreciate that. So I'm not mad at CJ. Not one bit. I appreciate this. I appreciate this sentiment. I really, really do. All right. My man, Relative Time Works here. Relative Time Works always donates, man. And I really do appreciate him. Timeworks says, with the $10 donation, by the way. Thank you so much, Timeworks. He says, the way the game is officiated in 2024, it's really hard to find a formula for playing defense with attitude and impact. If CJ's passion can translate to physicality, that's infectious. Then bring it. Yes. 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 You get it, Timeworks. You get it. I'm going to read this again. And thank you again for the $10 donation. The way the game is officiated in 2024, it's really hard to find a formula for playing defense. That's a fact. They've changed rules. They've made it much harder for defensive players to really, lay down the law out there. They've made it really hard. But nonetheless, you still have an obligation to bring some level of physicality to the game. You have an obligation to bring some level of tenacity to the football field. He says the way the game is officiated in 2024, it's really hard to find a formula for playing defense with attitude and impact. If CJ's passion can translate to physicality that's infectious, then bring it. I agree with you 100%, Timeworks. I couldn't have said it better myself. You need people like that. Hey, you need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fingers and say that's the bad guy. You need people like me. We need people like CJGJ. Ray Lester says teammates need to motivate each other. Their performance affects each other's pockets and careers. That's a fact. That's a fact. CJGJ got James Bradbury paid, didn't he? I think we all know that, though. We all know that. CJGJ got James Bradbury paid. All right. Let's keep going with the topics, you guys. Once again, I'm your guy. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II. You guys are locked in. You guys are tuned in to Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Make sure you guys smash that like button. That means a lot to me. Make sure you guys are also subscribed. My OG subscribers, you know what it is. My new viewers, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving me the time of day and giving my platform a shot. I know you guys have a ton of options here, and I don't take that for granted. So make sure you guys lock in on the content. It goes a long, 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 long way with me. All right. And on top of that, make sure you guys also check out the Chalk It Up Sports merch shop. We have a staple product right now that we're pushing here. We have a staple that we want you guys to lock in on. We have here the Apex Predator by Hertz oversized t-shirt here, right? It's the oversized street style that you guys love right now, that's popping right now in fashion. Make sure you guys cop your own Apex Predator Jalen Hurts oversized t-shirt. I'm wearing the black one right now. And a lot of people love the tan one. The tan one looks great. A lot of people love it here. Here's what it looks like in person. The artwork blends amazing. The artwork looks amazing. And with the fabric, it blends right into the fabric. I really do appreciate you guys locking in. It looks really cool. The colors are very vibrant. I want to give a shout out to my graphic designer, Jesse Wines. He did amazing work with this product here. You guys can also see some photos I've taken with it on Twitter, on my Instagram, on my YouTube community page. The link is in the live chat. The links are also below the live stream. You can see the little icons as well. So yeah, make sure you guys lace yourself. Make sure you guys bless yourself for the 2024 NFL season. It's going to be a hell of a season for the Philadelphia Eagles. Our shirts run from size small to 3X, and it's an oversized tee. Give you some details about the shirt. 100% carded cotton, 100% cotton, baby. Feels great on the skin. Wide neck ribbing, side seams, shoulder to shoulder taper, double needle hems, and it's pre-shrunk, as well to minimize any sort of shrinkage. So make sure you guys cop your shirts. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the other topics. I want to talk about a player who's really been making a name for himself in training camp for the Philadelphia Eagles. I want to talk about none other than Johnny Wilson, the big body, Florida State wide receiver that the Philadelphia Eagles drafted in the 6th round. Johnny Wilson was a very physical wide receiver in college. Now, when you look at his stats, because he went to Arizona State for 2 seasons, and then he transferred to Florida State. So he was at Arizona State in 2020 and 2021. Then he transferred to Florida State in 2022 and finished out his final season there in 2023. And when you look at Johnny Wilson's college stats, they don't jump off the page. They don't necessarily jump off the page, but what jumps off the page is his athletic profile. He was drafted in the 6th round, 185th overall. And honestly, man, when you see him being 6'6", 228 pounds, the way he's been settling into training camp. Because remember, it started off a little shaky for him. It started off a little shaky for him in OTAs and mandatory minicamp. It was a little shaky for him, but he started to settle in, and you can tell his confidence is rising. As a matter of fact, Devontae Smith spoke highly of him. Devontae Smith had a press conference, and Devontae, he's going to always give you exactly what you need to hear, not what you want to hear per se. And Devontae is becoming that veteran that a lot of people respect in the building. But he spoke about Johnny Wilson, and he mentioned how Johnny he's learning really quickly. He's a big guy. He has a huge catch radius. He's young, but he's learning fast. That's exactly what Devontae Smith said about Johnny Wilson. He's a big guy, has a huge catch radius, and he's learning fast. So that's what you want to hear from Johnny. That's what you want to hear about Johnny Wilson, right? That's what you want to hear. And I got to tell you, Johnny Wilson is making a case for himself at that wide receiver spot. Now, obviously, your number one and number two are AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, respectively, and Paris Campbell. Paris Campbell has been competing for that wide receiver 3 spot. Anaya Smith has been competing for it. John Ross has been competing for it. Joseph Ngata has been competing for it, right? Austin Watkins, guys like that, right? But quite frankly, the people we're paying attention to really are Paris Campbell, John Ross, Britton Covey as well. Can't forget Britton Covey, who's going to make the team because he's a really, really reliable special teamer. But Britton Covey, Paris Campbell, John Ross, Anaya Smith, Johnny Wilson, they're all competing to make this roster at wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4, things like that, right? And Johnny Wilson, his physical profile isn't really prototypical for the slot receiver spot, right? Like I said, 6'6", 228. Your slot guy, you kind of want him to be real shifty, real quick. You feel what I'm saying? So John Ross, again, he's not your prototypical slot guy. But if he continues to maximize his opportunities, especially now that Paris Campbell is dealing with some sort of injury, I have to look into what it is. But Paris Campbell is dealing with the injury, and he wasn't practicing today. So Johnny Wilson, John Ross, Britton Covey, they've been getting more reps. And Johnny Wilson he's actually been getting some reps, with the first team here and there. And I think the trust is starting to grow between him and Jalen Hurts. And Johnny Wilson has made some. He's been having some flash plays in training camp. He's been high pointing the ball very well. And although Paris Campbell is the front runner, and John Ross and Britton Covey are on his heels, I think Johnny Wilson is making a pleasant case for himself. And on top of that, because of his size, he's going to be very useful in the run game as well. So I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be surprised if the Philadelphia Eagles, especially if he continues on this trajectory as a wide receiver, I wouldn't be surprised if they used him in various packages in the run game, various packages in the red zone. I like that kid, man. I like that kid. And being 6'6", 228, and on top of that, he was measured to have the longest recorded wingspan for a wide receiver at the NFL Combine with 84.5 inches. There's never been a receiver with that physical profile that's been recorded, right? Again, with that wingspan, the longest recorded wingspan at 84.5 inches. That's longer than Megatron. Pause. So although, yeah, he's still a bit of a project, still needs some refinement. Obviously, experience is the best teacher. I would love to see. We'll see where he goes here, but I like what I've been hearing from Johnny Wilson. I like what I've been seeing from Johnny Wilson. I like it. Can't argue with the results thus far. Let me get to your comments here. Let's see here. All right. Crawley says Anaya Smith is making it. He's a Howie draft pick, and 1,000% won't clear waivers. It's a strong possibility. Antonio Holmes, he says, Joe Tone, waiting for my shirt. Hey, listen, so I go through spring to produce my shirts. So the shirts are made to order. So it's going to take a couple weeks to get to you. It's going to take over a week to get to you, Antonio. So just keep tracking your package. Just keep tracking it. It'll get to you, my friend. I appreciate you for investing in the product. It means a lot. So it'll get to you, my guy. Thank you so much. It'll get to you. Aishan says Howard Carmichael, but it probably wasn't recorded. Bingo. It's a good point. Wasn't recorded. And then even then, when you go back, some of the data has Howard Carmichael marked as a tight end. Let's see here. All right. Marina Sands says, don't think Anais makes the roster. We'll see. We'll definitely see, man. He hasn't had a good camp, and he's trying to build that confidence back from that injury. Timework says Devontae Smith can definitely be effective with slot routes, especially if used in motion. If the Eagles do that, wide receiver 3 needs to be a Z receiver. Timeworks. Now you cooking with grease. If they're going to be moving Devontae around a lot, especially putting him in a slot, you want that outside guy to be a pure outside guy, right? You want somebody out there that that you trust, a big body. So that could be a way Johnny Wilson makes an impact. I like that. Timeworks. Crawley says AJ, Devontae, Campbell, Wilson, Covey, Anais all make the roster. All right, let's see here. You say AJ Devontae, Paris Campbell, Johnny Wilson, Brent Covey, Anais Smith. That's 6 receivers. Okay, you don't think John Ross makes it. Okay, got it. Yeah, Crowley, there's a strong chance that this may be the actual group that makes it. Because the Eagles, when they draft you, you automatically make the roster for the most part. So Johnny Wilson and Anaya Smith, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, that's automatic damn near, right? So that's 4 spots. Brent Covey, he's versatile because he can return punts, so that's 5 spots. Paris Campbell and John Ross are fighting for that 6th spot if they only bring 6 receivers. If they bring 7, then you got John Ross. But if they only bring 6 receivers, you can make an argument that the competition is really between Paris Campbell and John Ross to make this roster. If all things hold true with the Philadelphia Eagles bringing their draft picks onto the roster. Ross says, "Don't sleep on Brenton Covey." Yo, facts. Brenton Covey has actually been getting a ton of separation in training camp, and he even spoke on how he believes that at this point in his career, there's no excuse why he shouldn't be able to make an impact as a wide receiver. So I wouldn't be surprised if Brenton Covey has taken his game to another level. He's been studying guys like Denny Amendola. He's been studying guys like Cole Beasley. so he can, really mirror his game after those guys. And Denny Amendola and Cole Beasley, although they were never number one wide receivers, they were guys that really maximized their opportunities in the slot. Cole Beasley gave the Eagles a lot of trouble. Professor Fiddlesworth says he's going to be a threat in some goal line 22 formations. Saquon option, Hurts take, or Johnny Wilson throw it up to him. Opens up a lot. Yeah. You're right. Especially with him. Like, bro, you know how much size they're going to have on the field? Just think about this, right? Just think about this, right? You got in the red zone, you got A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley, Johnny Wilson, maybe you put Devontae. Okay, Devontae Smith is going to be out there, obviously, but just think about the size, though. The big guys: A.J. Brown, Johnny Wilson, Dallas Goedert in the red zone. Think about that. That's scary. How do you defend it? And again, Saquon Barkley, Devontae Smith. How do you? And then also the threat of Jalen Hurts keeping the ball. How do you defend it? Just A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, and Johnny Wilson. They call them 50-50 footballs, right? But those guys, I call it 75-25. 75% chance they come down with it. 25% chance they don't. I like those odds. Shout out to my man, Professor Fiddlesworth. Timework says those wide receiver 3 candidates all have very different characteristics. Exactly. That's another good point, too. They all have very different characteristics, and there's a chance you may see different packages for different guys, but that can also expose your offense in a way where people start to see you start to establish trends, and teams start to track that, right? Okay, when Johnny Wilson is on the field, they're going to run the ball. When Britton Covey's on the field, okay, they're going to do this. When Paris Campbell's on the field, they're going to do that, right? So you got to be careful when you have so many different receivers that have so many varying characteristics at that wide receiver 3 spot. You don't want to expose your hands. You don't want to expose your hand before the play even begins. Crawley says Covey is no doubt making his team. Yeah, I agree with that. Marina says Wilson would be WR3 in the red zone. It's entirely a possibility. Entirely a possibility. Ross and Found says he's a wide receiver in the tight end body. Yeah, it's crazy. S. Blunt says I suggest Johnny Wilson would take that fourth wide receiver slot spot previously held by Zach Pascal and Julio Jones. Wilson was the number 1 blocker coming out of college. Yes, very good point, S. Blunt. You're going to see a lot of situations where Johnny Wilson is in run blocking situations, screen situations, right? That's what's going to be interesting too, right? To see how they utilize Johnny Wilson in the screen game, right? You got Dallas Goedert out there, A.J. Brown blocking, and Johnny Wilson blocking, along with Cam Jurgens pulling, and then if you throw Mekhi Becton out there, Lane Johnson, that's going to be crazy. Imagine a screen game. You throw the ball to Saquon Barkley in the screen game. You got Johnny Wilson blocking, A.J. Brown blocking, Dallas Goedert blocking, Lane Johnson blocking. That's crazy. As Blunt also says, USA just got gold in the 100-meter. Noah Lyles by a nose. Hey, congratulations to Noah Lyles. I know a lot of people don't like Noah Lyles because he can be a little cocky. But hey, man, Noah Lyles wins gold, baby. Noah Lyles, man, USA. Shout out to him. All right, where was I? I Shine, what's good? Hope you're doing well, my friend. Ray Lester says Jalen spoke on Wilson Friday and said he likes his work ethic, and that shows he's bonding with Wilson for sure. Johnny Wilson and Jalen Hurts got some offseason work together as well. Prior to OTAs, or maybe it was after. I can't remember, but Jalen Hurts got with all the new guys, and all the young guys, and he worked out with him, and got a lot of drills in. And Johnny Wilson, Devontae Smith speaks highly of him. Jalen Hurts has spoken highly of him, and they both have spoken about his work ethic. That goes a long way in Philadelphia. It goes a long way. Benjamin Moore says, "Hey, Tone, great show. I appreciate you, Mr. Moore." He says, Anaya Smith goes to the injured reserve. What? Is that did that just happen? Let me see that. Let me double check that. Let me double check that. Is that true? Oh, okay. Got it. Got you. You made me nervous. B. Moore. You made me nervous, B. Moore. You made me nervous. All right, but he says, "Hey, Tone, great show." And Nia Smith goes to the injured reserve. Covey makes a team. Bully ball in the red zone. Saquon multiple looks. He's definitely going to be bully ball in the red zone. I think the Eagles are going to be a top 5 team in the red zone this year. China says, "Don't you think we should keep depth, especially at wide receiver and cornerback with a week 5 bye?" I hate that we got a week 5 bye. You just reminded me of that, China. Oh, I hate that. I hate it. But no, the Eagles got a lot of depth at cornerback. It's competitive all the way around. China also says, "I love Noah Lyles. I hate when people say athletes should have more class. This ain't a debutante ball." I feel you on that, man. See, I ain't gonna lie. I like my athletes talking they ish. You know what I'm saying? I like my athletes talking trash. I like it, especially if you can back it up. Especially if you back it up. Philly Flyover says, "We still got 20 plus million in cap. I'm pretty sure we can make a trade for a stud D end to take pressure off of the linebackers or a stud linebacker, so it won't matter." We'll see, man. I have no idea what their plans are with that money. We'll find out. Maybe they're waiting for something to shake. Who knows? Davon Tyree says, "Tone, we can grab Hunter Renfrow." I liked Hunter Renfrow, especially when he was with the Raiders. I felt like Hunter Renfrow was a very productive player with the Raiders, man. I like his skill set. So could he be an option? That all remains to be seen. I'm surprised he didn't get signed yet. I really am. All right. Let's get to excuse me. Let's get to my other topics I have here. We got a full show, you guys. Make sure you guys continue to smash that like button. If you haven't already. It means a lot to me. That like button goes a long way. We made it to 100 likes, you guys. Thank you guys so much. It means a lot. And I also want to give a shout out to the people who've donated to the channel today. I want to give a shout out to Ross and Found. He donated a grand total of $7 to the channel today via 2 super chats, a $2 super chat and a $5 super chat. I also want to give a shout out to my to the good brother, the OG, triple OG S Blunt, for donating to the channel as well. I appreciate his contribution. It means a lot to me. He know how we give it up here. He always donates. And got to give a shout out to Relative Time Works, who's donated plenty times in the past as well with a $10 super chat, breaking the bank. I appreciate you, Time Works, for investing in my product, man. It means a lot. Again, make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the show, especially if you're new to the show, right? Thank you guys so much. And on top of that, On top of that, I appreciate everybody who watches this live stream after the fact. I know sometimes it's hard to catch these lives. So, a lot of you guys are busy. You got your own obligations here, and maybe you can't catch the live stream. So the content is always going to be available to you guys. I have other content on there as well. Make sure you guys check out my interviews with people like Lord Brunson and Simone Stanley, Derek Gunn, Rob Ellis, Seth Joyner, Barrett Brooks, Weapon X Media, Pro Fan Talk, Glenn Irby. Who else have we had on, man? We've had so many people on the show. Just make sure you guys go lock in. It goes a long way with me, you guys. Goes a long way. Bill Colarulo, you know what I'm saying? 97.5's own Bill Colarulo. And also shout out to Bill. Congratulations to Bill, man. He's going to be starting a new midday show with Mike Missinelli, man. Mike Missinelli makes his infamous return to 97.5 The Fanatic, and Bill Colarulo is going to be his running mate. So shout out to Bill. Shout out to Mikey Miss, who I've had the pleasure and the privilege of working with during my time at Jacob Sports. Mike Missinelli, he's a class act, and I'm grateful for him. Learned a lot from him, and shout out to Bill as well. This is a huge opportunity for him, and I know he's going to knock it out the park. All right, let's see. Let's get to my next topic. And once again, shout out to my man Trey979 for constantly just reposting the links throughout the live stream on my Twitter account, of the YouTube channel, of my Instagram page, also the merch as well, right? The merch, the link is plastered. It's pinned to the top of the live stream. So you guys will be able to just click that and it'll take you to the page and you can, cop some Chalk It Up merchandise. You'll have that at your disposal. So make sure you guys are on the right side of history and make sure you bless yourself for the Philadelphia Eagles 2024 NFL season. Comes in two separate colors. Comes in with the black colorway and it comes in the eucalyptus colorway, otherwise known as tan. So make sure you guys lock in on that and bless yourself for the 2024 NFL season. And just a reminder, my merch shop is powered by Teespring, newly known as Spring. My merch shop is powered by Spring. So every shirt is made to order. They'll take about a week or two to get to you. And I appreciate you guys for being patient, man. And I appreciate you guys for regularly investing in the product. It means a lot, man. Means a lot. Nonetheless, you guys, let's keep the show rolling. And shout out to my man Anthony Krobeck as well. He says that Apex shit is hot. Not sure what that Twitter hater's talking about. Hey, listen, man, you can't please everybody. You can't please everybody, man. It's all good. It ain't about nothing, man. You can't please everybody. All I ask is it's funny, Anthony. He commented on it twice. And my thing is, okay, you don't like it. Keep it pushing. It's all good. Like, I don't need you. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? I have people here that genuinely, rock with me and, want to continue to support the show. It's all good. I don't Anthony, you got people who are miserable and it's all good, my friend. Ain't about nothing. So I appreciate you for supporting. I appreciate everybody else, man. So I don't even pay no mind, man. It's all good. It's all good. Everybody want their 10 seconds of fame. Sometimes you got to give it to them. That's all. Anyway, let's continue with the topics here. So we covered Nakobe Dean's standing with the Philadelphia Eagles. Is he in trouble? I say yes. We covered Milton Williams' training camp and also the fact that he's in a contract year. Will Milton Williams take his game to another level, and will he be able to secure himself a long-term deal with the Philadelphia Eagles or with another NFL franchise? It all remains to be seen. What kind of season will he give us? I think Milton Williams is going to have a career year. He's going to have more opportunities with Fletcher Cox being gone, and we'll see if the Philadelphia Eagles will be able to bring him back for the 2025 campaign. And then we also covered Johnny Wilson, the rookie, drafted in the 6th round by the Philadelphia Eagles, the Florida State product, the 6'6", 228 behemoth. He's been having a really, really strong training camp as of late. He's been getting some reps with the first team, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Philadelphia Eagles are thinking about getting creative with using him in various packages in the red zone and also utilizing his run blocking ability. He was the #1 rated or graded run blocking receiver in the NCAA, and that doesn't go without saying. So I'm really curious to see if Johnny Wilson can continue to make strides and can continue to push for maybe that wide receiver 3 or wide receiver 4 spot. And remember, AJ Brown and Devontae Smith are going to be utilized all over this field. And we know Kellen Moore loves to use 4 wide receivers, right? He also loves to use 2 tight ends. So will there be situations where you see Dallas Goedert and Johnny Wilson line up on the field in the 12 formation type of situation? Or you see Johnny Wilson on the field, Dallas Goedert and Grant Calcaterra with AJ Brown or a Devontae Smith combo. You never know. So we'll see. But so far, Johnny Wilson's having a really good camp, and he's earning the trust of Jalen Hurts. He's making a name for himself with his work ethic with Devontae Smith, and we'll see if he'll be able to maintain this trajectory. So far, so good with him. So far, so good. Now, my next topic. We've been live for about 1 hour and 42 minutes. Thank you guys so much for being here. Over 100 likes so far. About 80 people in the live stream. We've eclipsed 100 people in the live stream at any given moment. So I really do appreciate you guys for taking this thing to another level. As Blunt says, I didn't get a chance to comment on Milton. I think he's going to ball to get his money, but I think this is his last year with us. It's possible, man. That defensive tackle position, they're making a lot of money. And if Milton Williams does exactly what he expects to do, I don't think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be able to match it. And here's why. The Philadelphia Eagles have Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis on this roster, who are the future at the position. If we see that guys like, if we see that there are guys like Chris Jones, Christian Wilkins, Justin Matabuke are making $24+ million, $30+ million, right? You see guys like Quinyon Williams, Jeffrey Simmons, DeForest Buckner making 23, 24 million, Dexter Lawrence making 21.8. It goes on and on, right? The bottom line is the way the league is trending, I wouldn't be, and also if Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis become the players that we expect them to be, you're going to be paying both of those guys at minimum $20+ million. If Jalen Carter becomes the player we think, you're going to be paying him at minimum $28 million a season. Think about that. That's a reality here. So again, the likelihood of Milton Williams signing a long-term deal with the Philadelphia Eagles is probably slim because the Eagles are going to have to invest a lot of money in a position. And Jalen Carter is going to take up a lot of that capital. And if Jordan Davis can show that he's worth the investment, he's going to take up some capital as well. And I can't imagine the Philadelphia Eagles paying 3 DTs big money like that. Again, it all remains to be seen though. Maybe Howie works something out. You never know. But I just think that the Eagles are already thinking about what a future contract looks like with Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. So David, thank you for supporting the show. Says, I love your content, Tone, and your confidence. Unfortunately, Dak and the boys are going to carve y'all up. You know what? I respect your confidence. I respect your confidence, and I appreciate your confidence. But, that remains to be seen. And I'm telling you, your season is not going to go the way you think it will. Too much dysfunction. Just too much of it. But I appreciate you for showing love, David at JFK MLK. I appreciate you. I really, really do. All right, let's get to my next topic here. Have the Eagles already decided who their starting cornerback 2 is? Have they already made their mind up who they want at that position opposite Darius Slay? I want to harken back to the public practice. At the public practice, Isaiah Rodgers and Keely Ringo were rotating at the cornerback 2 spot. Quinyon Mitchell, on the other hand, was not. As a matter of fact, they had Quinyon Mitchell exclusively on the first team at the nickel spot. And remember, we were all debating and having conversations about the fact that it's a three-horse race for that CB2 spot opposite Darius Slay. We spoke about Isaiah, Kele, and Quinyon. And the trends are dictating that the Eagles really, really like Isaiah Rodgers and Kelee Ringo on the outside. That's what they do. And the trends are showing that although Quinyon Mitchell is very, very capable of playing outside, he's the most versatile one that has the ability to play the nickel as well. So the Philadelphia Eagles want to get the most talented players on the football field. They want that DB. They want to figure out the best combination of DBs on the field at any given time. And so far, just based off of the decisions they made, it's looking like Quinyon Mitchell is going to start the season at the nickel spot. At this point, it's very plausible to assume that the Eagles are going to start Quinyon Mitchell at that nickel. So CB2 is up for grabs between Kelee Ringo and Isaiah Rodgers. Now, is there a situation where Quinyon Mitchell could eventually move to the cornerback 2 spot at some point in the season? It's probable. But barring injury, I don't think so, especially if whoever is there is playing well. And this isn't an indictment on Quinyon Mitchell. Like I said, he's very capable of playing CB2, but I think they like him at nickel, especially with Cooper DeJean being hurt. Now, my man S. Blunt brought it up, and I have it written here in my notes. Yes, I think they do want Cooper DeJean to play slot. I think that was their vision. That was their plan. But Cooper DeJean is dealing with a hamstring. And by him not being on the football field, that's set him back tremendously in the running for that nickel spot. So that begs the question, when he does return from his injury, where will Cooper DeJean fit? Could we see him being used in dime packages? Could we even see Cooper DeJean being utilized in big nickel packages? So we have to be patient with how this thing plays out, right? We're going to really see a lot in the preseason game. That's what's so dope about the Eagles situation with the cornerback position. It doesn't matter what preseason game it'll be, or what quarter. We're going to see all those guys on the field at any given time. We're going to see Quinyon Mitchell a lot in the preseason. We're going to see Cooper DeJean at some point. Maybe he plays in the final preseason game. Maybe. Or maybe he can make it back for the second one. Who knows? But we're going to see all these guys on the field at any given time. Isaiah Rodgers, Kelee Ringo, Eli Ricks, right? Josh Jobe. We're going to see all those guys. So I'm personally really excited to see who they start out with cornerback 2 in the first preseason game. I'm really curious to see how that goes. But I think right now, again, with Cooper DeJean being out, they trust Quinyon Mitchell the most. They trust him the most to be able to play that nickel spot, especially if Cooper DeJean can't suit up. He's probably their most versatile corner, Quinyon Mitchell, right now. And then you probably could throw in Cooper DeJean. It's actually pretty interesting. The 2 most versatile corners that the Eagles have on the roster are their rookies. And I think they drafted those players for that exact reason. Obviously, the talent and the upside, but they're versatile. They're very versatile. My man, Trey979, dropped a link for an ESPN article written by Tim McManus, ESPN staff writer. says here, Eagles rookie defensive, and this was written on July 23rd. You know, it's a 3-week hamstring injury. Obviously, they want to tread lightly with it because they don't want the injury to linger into the regular season. So it makes sense to me. But, you know, if I had to take a guess today, I wouldn't be surprised, and this could change, right? And I'm doing this in real time, a real-time thought, a real-time guess here. If I had to guess, in week 1, your starting corners or your starting DBs are going to be Darius Slay, Isaiah Rodgers, Quinyon Mitchell in the slot, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and Reed Blankenship at safety. I think that's the combo in week 1. And again, this is me just taking a quick guess. So I understand with them treading lightly with Cooper DeJean. You don't want that hamstring to be a long-term thing. The moment they saw it, they said, you know, we're shutting you down for a while. We want that to heal. So I respect it. Let me get back to my notes here. So JDM Life says, that sounds about right. Darius Slay and Isaiah Rodgers on the outside, Quinyon Mitchell in the slot, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and Reed Blankenship at safety. I think that's going to be your starting DBs. I think those are going to be your starting 5 DBs. And that's a nickel formation, obviously. Most teams play nickel most of the time these days. Trey 979 says Eagles doubled up on corner in the draft. Very smart. I agree. Adam AU, welcome to the show, my friend. He says, I still think we should have grabbed Quinyon Mitchell, then Edgerrin Cooper. What you think? I mean, you know, we spoke about this earlier, right? We spoke about how the Eagles at some point, they got to take the linebacker position seriously. They got to. And so far, they're still trying to be cheapskates about it. So, to your point, Adam, if the Eagles did grab Quinyon Mitchell and Edgerrin Cooper, I wouldn't have been upset at all. Pardon me, you guys. If the Eagles did grab Edgerrin Cooper along with Quinyon Mitchell, I wouldn't have been upset. I would have been pretty pleased with that. But I'm also pretty pleased with Cooper DeJean as well. Ray Lester says, well, first Davon Tyree says, so Avonte Maddox is out. Well, Avonte is competing. Remember, they cut him. They cut him, then they brought him back. So he's competing. They don't owe him anything. He's fighting for a roster spot like everybody else. And the thing is, Avonte Maddox, you don't question the talent or the skill set. You question the durability. Ray Lester says, I think Maddox will start in the opener if healthy as a vet, just so Mitchell won't be under too much pressure to start his career. Nah, Ray. Nah, you need him out there. It doesn't get easier, Ray. I understand your sentiment, but I disagree. It doesn't get better. It doesn't get easier. This was the problem they did with Nolan Smith. This was the problem with who else? I'm trying to remember who else they were too patient with. The bottom line is I can't agree with you, Ray, because you can't. It doesn't get easier. It gets more difficult as the weeks go along. So I want Quinyon Mitchell out there. I don't care if he's in a nickel. I don't care if they got him playing dime a lot. I need Quinyon Mitchell getting snaps. Period. I need him out there. It doesn't get easier. Ray, you know that. The longer you wait, the harder it is for that player to settle in. You want him out there week 1 while everybody trying to figure it out. You don't want to throw Quinyon Mitchell out there in week 10 or week 6 when teams are beginning to establish their identities. You want Quinyon Mitchell out there getting confident early. That's my perspective, though. Ray says, you want to throw him in the fire day 1. I hear you. Baptism by fire. Absolutely. Absolutely. J62 Moon. He says, we got to roll with what we got, though. It's all a dice game after the draft. Exactly. At the end of the day, everybody's gambling. Nobody knows what their rookies are going to do. Even the Bears, no matter, even they want to pretend like they're so confident in Caleb Williams, but they're scared to death. The Bears are scared to death. The Washington Commanders, their fan base, they want to pretend like they know exactly what Jaden Daniels is going to do. But the reality is, they're scared to death. The Patriots with Drake May, they're scared to death. The Cardinals with Marvin Harrison Jr. His legacy and the family he comes from is legitimate, but they're scared to death. Anything can happen in those football games. So everybody's gambling. Everybody's rolling the dice. It's just that simple. Aishan says, I feel we was too patient with Nolan Smith last year, to be honest. How we even admitted it. Exactly. So you can't waste time. You can't waste time babying these guys, man. Get off the nipple and get your ass on the turf. All right. Let me get to my next topic here. Hearkening back to the public practice, right? And training camp, Bryce Huff, from what I'm hearing, he's beginning to settle in to that edge rusher role in Philadelphia. Remember, there was a point where Vic Fangio made it very clear that although we believe Bryce Huff is talented enough to do what we need him to do, we need him to prove it on a consistent basis. And Bryce Huff and Vic Fangio made it very clear. He doesn't care how much you make. He doesn't care where you were drafted. He doesn't care about any sort of resume you've accumulated. If you can't play, you're not playing. If I can't trust you, you're not playing. Because like he said, this isn't some expansion team here. The stakes are high for the Philadelphia Eagles entering the 2024 season. Guys have to make an impact. And so far, although Bryce Huff started out a little quiet in camp, in that public practice, he made a play. He made a play. It says here, or what I have here, Bryce Huff at the public practice, he almost snagged an interception on Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts made a pass attempt to John Ross after dropping back in coverage. Bryce Huff was able to make a jump on the ball. Jalen Hurts didn't even see him coming. Bryce Huff dropped back in coverage. He made a play on the ball. Could have had the interception, but he dropped it. And he looked smooth on it. That's what I've heard. That's what I've read. So is Bryce Huff starting to get more confident in that position? Especially dropping back in coverage? And the Vic Fangio scheme, you're playing the edge. You're not just going to rush the passer. There's going to be moments where he needs you to drop back to give the quarterback something different to look at. So in front of the crowd, Bryce Huff made a play or two. I like it. And we've heard nothing but good things about Jalen Hunt. The rumor is, he's ahead of schedule as well. The one person we haven't heard too much about as well is Nolan Smith. We haven't heard much about Nolan Smith. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But it's not moving the needle. Let's say that. And it's going to be so important for guys like Josh Sweat, Nolan Smith, Bryce Huff, Brandon Graham, Jalen Hunt. They need those guys to make an impact in some shape, way, or form. Some people believe that edge rusher room is mediocre. I don't believe that, but there's a lot of unknowns. We don't know what Nolan Smith is going to be at the end of the day. We don't know what Jalen Hunt is going to be at the end of the day. BG is obviously on his last leg. Will Josh Sweat have that season where he bounces back? Bryce Huff. Entering the 5th year of his NFL career, played 4 seasons with the New York Jets. And quite frankly, those first 3 years, he was a non-factor. It wasn't until his 4th season where Bryce Huff was able to make an impact as a rotational edge rusher, coming in on 3rd down situations with the New York Jets. Now, granted, the New York Jets were very deep at the position, and they felt like Bryce Huff was one of their best pass rushers or one of their best edge rushers. So they wanted him exclusively in run situations, and they probably felt like they had better guys on earlier downs. Now, that's not to say he's not capable of defending the run, but again, they were so deep, they wanted to optimize the snaps of everyone in that position group. And ultimately, Bryce Huff was a 3rd down edge rusher, a 3rd down pass rusher, and he really maximized those opportunities, right? Played in all 17 games, so he has a fairly clean bill of health. He got 10 sacks, 10 tackles for loss, 21 quarterback hits. So you got to give credit where credit is due. He also had 33 pressures. And let me see here. By the way, during his time with the Jets, they didn't use him in coverage. They exclusively sent him to the quarterback. And he doesn't really have too much on the resume indicating that he was targeted in pass coverage. So I'm really curious to see how they get this thing done here. What kind of impact will Bryce Huff have in pass coverage? And will his motor be able to hold up? There's a strong chance that his snap count is going to go from 480, which is what it was in 2023 during his career year. There's a chance that snap count goes from 480 to about 650 with the Philadelphia Eagles. Can he do that? It all remains to be seen. But I'm excited about Bryce Huff. I really, really am. Antonio Holmes says we need an edge rusher. Too many unknowns. Yeah, there are a lot of unknowns. That's the truth. Mac 10 says, who do you think is going to take the wide receiver 3 spot? That's a good question. So Paris Campbell, he's hurt right now. He missed his first training camp. So that gave opportunities to Brenton Covey, John Ross, and Johnny Wilson to get some reps with the first team. Brenton Covey has been getting a ton of separation. He's making the case for it. John Ross, we haven't heard anything really about him, but we also haven't heard anything bad either. So he's pretty much plateaued right now. Johnny Wilson, his stock is rising. Paris Campbell, haven't heard anything bad about him either. Haven't heard anything exceptional either. But we have seen footage of him catching some deep passes by Jalen Hurts for touchdowns, and he's earning the trust of Jalen Hurts as well. So, but if I had to roll the dice, who I think is going to be the lead wide receiver 3, because and also Mac 10, I don't want you to think I'm avoiding your question. I also think what the Philadelphia Eagles are going to do, I think that's going to be a wide receiver 3 spot by committee. But who do I think is the lead wide receiver 3? I think it's going to be Paris Campbell. That's my honest opinion. Tony 401 was going, or Tommy 401, excuse me. They say it's safe to say Eagles season will possibly be worse than last year. Losing players, coordinators, Barkley isn't going to make up for the defensive unit. It's safe to say that? Yeah. All right. Well, at least you're being honest. I hope at least. It's your opinion. It is what it is. I strongly disagree, but it's your opinion. It's all good. I appreciate your support. Marina Sand says, we're also not deep at safety, the thinnest and weakest position. I wouldn't say the weakest. The thinnest, yeah, but I wouldn't say the weakest. I think the weakest position is linebacker by far. By far. But again, agree to disagree. I partially agree with you, right? Let's put it that way. I definitely agree that we're not deep there. But I don't think that's the weakest position. Antonio says, Huff has been getting pressures, but we got Hurts running away. It's so funny, right? When you're in training camp, you ask yourself, what do you want, really? Do you want to see the offense doing exceptionally well, or do you want to see the defense doing exceptionally well, right? At the end of the day, you're practicing against your own teammates. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult to judge whether or not the defense is good or not, or the offense is good or not, because the offense primarily has been having a good training camp, and the defense has had their moments for sure. But we can't have it both ways, right? We get excited about, and this isn't me talking about you, Antonio. It's actually something I've thought about. Right? We can't have it both ways. We say to ourselves, oh, we need to see Jalen Hurts being sharp in training camp and killing it, right? But then we also say to ourselves, we need this defense to make plays and force turnovers in training camp so we know they're good. It's like, well, you damn if you do, damn if you don't. If the defense is playing really, really well, by proxy, Jalen Hurts is not playing well. Therefore, we're concerned about Jalen Hurts. But if Jalen Hurts and that offense is playing well, by proxy, that means the defense is not playing well. And then we're concerned about the defense. So we can't have it both ways. That's the logical prognosis. That's the logical equation. So, at the end of the day, we're not going to know what this team is, especially on the defensive side of the ball. We're not going to know what this defense is until they play Green Bay, until they play Atlanta, until they play Dallas, right? Until they play the Rams. You feel what I'm saying? We're not going to know what this team is, or this defense, really. We're not going to know what this defense is. As a matter of fact, I'll put it to you this way. We're not really going to know what this defense is fully until about maybe week 8. I think we're not going to know what this defense is until about maybe week 8, week 9. I think that's reasonable. By then, we should start to see them establishing an identity. Aishan says, Nolan Smith had 2 back-to-back sacks on Hurts last week. Nolan ready, bro. Hopefully he's consistent. Oh, yeah, that's right. I did actually report that. That's a good call by you. Aishan, I actually brought that up as well on my live stream, I think a couple days ago or last week. So good callback by you. He did have some moments. He beat Fred Johnson a couple times, I think. Yeah, that's actually in my notes from last week. He beat Fred Johnson twice. But Fred Johnson is not a starting tackle. Fred Johnson is not a starting level offensive tackle. He's a great backup. Hence why the Philadelphia Eagles love him and keep him on the roster. He's a great backup, but he's not starting caliber. He's not Lane Johnson. He's not Jordan Mailata. He's not Penny Sewell. He's not Rashawn Slater. You feel what I'm saying? He's not Trent Williams. So that's how we're going to have to judge Nolan Smith. But the fact that he's making plays, you only can do what you can. You only can beat the person in front of you. So to your point, Aishan, it is encouraging to see Nolan Smith making plays in spite of the person he's making plays against. AJ Harris says, I heard a little bit on Nolan. He beat Lang twice on a speed rush, so it's a nice sign of things to come. Like Aishan said, though, can it be consistent? Can it translate? J62 Moon says, did you see Kobe had an Eagles beanie on his new statue they just made of him and his daughter? Yeah, man, that was actually that statue was based off him being at that one game where he was sitting with his daughter, and they were talking basketball and all that kind of stuff. And Kobe is known to be an Eagles fan. I still think about how he went, his daughter, the trauma his family is experiencing, the other people who were lost during that tragic incident. It's truly sad, and you pray for everybody's families. You pray for them to find some sort of peace or redemption. It's tragic, and I don't wish I don't wish it on my worst enemy. So, rest in paradise, Kobe and Gianna Bryant. Rest in paradise. The good brother, J62 Moon. Oh, I almost forgot. I almost forgot to give Ross his wrench. Ross donated twice. Real quick, give me 1 second. Let me get Ross his wrench. Add as a moderator. Standard. Boom. So, all right. Shout out to my man Ross and Found again. But J62 Moon with the $1.99 donation. Thank you so much, Jay. I appreciate the support, my friend. It means a lot to me. Let's get to your super chat. He says the preseason games are going to tell a lot. I agree with you. There are some people who don't take the preseason games seriously. I'm not one of those people. I take the preseason games very, very, very seriously. Mainly because you got guys out there that aren't just that they're not playing for glory. They're not playing for they're not playing for ego. They're playing because they need to make this roster. And they got to feed their babies. They got to feed their family. They got to pay their bills. You feel what I'm saying? They're trying to realize their NFL dreams. Those practice squad checks, even if a player makes practice squad, those practice squad checks are immaculate. So I take the preseason very seriously. I think the preseason should be valued more, should be discussed more with higher reverence. It gives guys an opportunity to tune things up. to work out the kinks in their game. And bottom line, guys are fighting for their livelihoods. Guys are fighting for their NFL lives. The average NFL career is only about 3 to 3.5 years. Think about that. But they want to convince us that the preseason doesn't matter. I'm not buying that. Never have, never will. So you're right, Jay. We're going to see a lot of these guys giving it their all in the preseason. And we're going to see a lot from guys like Isaiah Rodgers, Keely Ringo, Quinyon Mitchell. We're going to see a lot from guys like Trevor Keegan on the offensive line and Dylan McMahon as well. We're going to see a lot from guys like Johnny Wilson, Joseph Ngata, Anaya Smith, Austin Watkins at wide receiver, all those guys, Britton Covey. We're going to see a lot from guys like Grant Cockatera, Albert O, Tanner McKee, Kenny Pickett, Oren Burks, Nakobe Dean, Josh Jobe, Eli Ricks, Mekhi Gardner, Tristan McCullum, PJ Mustafa, Moro Ujomo. This is off the dome, by the way. I'm not reading names. This is off the dome. I'm not reading any names. This is off the heezy. And there are three preseason games this year. The Eagles open up the preseason. And thank you again, Jay, for the donation. I really do appreciate you, my friend. You geared me up. There's 3 preseason games this year. The Philadelphia Eagles started off with against the Baltimore Ravens on the road. And then they travel to New England to face off. Yes, Antonio, you sure can. Hold on real quick. Sorry. Where's Antonio's name at? There he is. Antonio. There you go, Antonio. Boom. There we go. By the way, anybody who purchases their Apex tee, I'll give you a wrench. I just gave my man Antonio Holmes a wrench. Shout out to him for being the first to buy my shirt, to buy my merchandise. So, like I said, there's going to be a ton of guys out there who are battling. They're going to be battling. Julian Okora. You feel me? Jalix Hunt battling for grass time, for their NFL careers. I'm not taking that lightly. I'm not taking that lightly at all. China says Goodell wants to get rid of the preseason and start the season early. Man, oh man. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys smash that like button. It means a lot, goes a long way. Thank you guys so much for donating to the channel. I want to give a shout out to you guys for I want to give a shout out to Ross and Found for donating $7 to the live stream via 2 super chats. Thank you, Ross and Found. Shout out to my man, the Triple OG S Blunt, for donating to the channel. Always donates every time he's on. Shout out to Relative Time Works for breaking the bank with the $10 donation. Thank you again, Time Works. He's always in the live chat, always donating when he gets the opportunity. And shout out to my man J62 Moon for donating. He's donated in the past as well. Thank you guys so much for investing in the channel. And I want to give a shout out to Antonio Holmes as well for investing in me, being one of the first, I think actually the first, to purchase the Apex Predator oversized tee. Shout out to him, man. I appreciate him. It goes a long way. Thank you so much. And thank you for your service, Antonio. Thank you. Where was I now? Let's get to some of these comments. Ray says, I think the starters might play 2 or 3 quarters out of the 12 in the preseason. Interesting. I think Jalen Hurts is only going to play a drive. I think you're only going to get maybe one drive out of Jalen Hurts. That's what I think. Regardless of the outcome. I think they're only going to. I think Jalen Hurts is only going to play one drive, just to knock the rust off a little bit. Tommy 41 says, David, what you mean? H-Town Hurts is going to kill with the right play call for sure, easily, but he will have to take his game to another level this season if defense doesn't get right. I think Jalen Hurts is going to have a tremendous year. I feel you though, Tommy or Tommy. I feel you that, or Tommy for one. I appreciate that. All right. AJ Harris says the preseason absolutely matters. It helps determine some position battles. You get a chance to see some of our young guys and maybe find some overlooked gems. Absolutely, right? You get to see guys in real NFL action. You feel me? You get to see guys live and direct. All right, let's get to my my final topic of the day. My final topic. And I brought this up briefly earlier, so I'm going to revisit it. There are rumors circulating that the Los Angeles Chargers potentially are placing Joey Bosa on the trade block. Now, let me give you guys some details real quick about Joey Bosa in terms of his situation with the Chargers. Now, the Chargers, they did restructure both Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa's contract going into the 2024 season. It says here, Joey Bosa took a pay cut from $22 million to $15 million, but he got his salary fully guaranteed and can still earn back $4 million through SAC incentives, while Khalil Mack had his salary reduced from $23.25 million to $19 million and cannot be franchise tagged in 2025. But Joey Bosa at one point in the offseason was due a $7 million roster bonus, which put a timeline on the decision with his contract. And now also is due $12.36 million as a roster bonus on the first day of the 2025 league year, altered from an $8.36 million roster bonus. So here's the thing. As of right now, Joey Bosa, he has a $26.1 million cap hit in 2024. We talked about the Philadelphia Eagles being light at the edge rusher position, right? And I understand that a lot of you guys are not the biggest fans of Joey Bosa. So far, I hear that and I'm seeing that, right? So let me just give some more details about Joey Bosa. Obviously, Joey Bosa has battled injuries over the past couple seasons. He's not been healthy. I think he's only played a total of 9 games over the course of the past 2 seasons, if I'm not mistaken. Make sure I got this right here. Joey Bosa over the past 2 seasons, I'm sorry, he's played in 14 games. He started in 9 games over the past 2 seasons. But Joey Bosa over the past 2 seasons has had to deal with season-ending injuries. But when Joey Bosa is on, when he's on, wow, no way, China. Are you serious? No way. This completely debunks my topic here. You're kidding. Let me look that up. That's crazy. Joey Bosa got hurt? No way. Let me see here. Let me search this. That's crazy. That's wild. All right, let's see. So that training camp. Okay, yeah, you're right. So it says here Joey Bosa was shaken up after a rush in 11 on 11 in 11 on 11 drills. Something with his left hand or his wrist. He's heading inside with the trainers now. And the word is he's been dominating at training camp and practice. So again, this again, you guys, just let me get through this topic, right? I'm just trying to introduce the topic here, and then I'm going to tell you guys where I stand. All right. Let me introduce this topic, and then I'll tell you guys exactly where I stand. All right. Let me do that. So, like I was saying, the rumor is Joey Bosa is potentially on the trade block. They did restructure his contract, and on top of that, he has, after the restructure, he has a $26.1 million cap hit for the 2024 season. So he spent his entire 8-year career with the Chargers. And despite his talent and production, when healthy, like we were all discussing here, he's battled season-ending injuries over the past couple seasons. In 2023, he had 6.5 sacks through 9 games played. That's a really, really, really good number. Kind of reminds me of Josh Sweat. Through the first 9 games, Josh Sweat had 6.5 sacks. The only difference was Josh Sweat was healthy the whole season, and Joey Bosa wasn't. Joey Bosa couldn't finish the season. 6.5 sacks through 9 games played in 2023. Josh Sweat played all 17 games, but all 6.5 of his sacks came in the first 9 games. Nonetheless, though, we've discussed this. We've talked about how the Philadelphia Eagles lack depth, or let's say this, they lack known commodities at the edge rusher position. And a lot of you guys believe that they're still in need of another piece, a proven piece at that. So that begs the question, should the Philadelphia Eagles at least consider making a move for him? Should they? Now, here's my opinion. I don't know if Joey Bosa is the answer. And here's why. Like I said before, and like you guys know, and like we've mentioned all together, his health has been awful over the past 2 seasons. His health has been abysmal. And quite frankly, I don't like his personality. Maybe that's petty. I don't know. Maybe that's maybe that's not something that I should use as a barometer here. But he stays on the nurse's table, and I don't like his personality. And his cap hit is insane. His cap hit is catastrophic. There's no reason the Philadelphia Eagles should consider making a play for Bosa for all those reasons we all mentioned. So I am actually in agreement with you guys that Joey Bosa, I don't believe, is the answer. Now, to play devil's advocate, would he benefit from being in a rotation with guys like Josh Sweat, Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt, BG, Bryce Huff? Could he benefit from that? Sure. And would he probably be the most talented edge rusher on his team when healthy? Definitely. But I'm not willing to take the risk on Joey Bosa. Knowing his injury history, knowing that he just got nicked up less than an hour ago in training camp, despite him having a strong training camp at that, he can't stay healthy. His cap hit, his contract is too much of an eyesore. So I'm not rolling with the Joey Bosa rumors, right? And yes, it's crazy. Time flies, right? Joey Bosa is 8 years deep in his career. And again, I don't like Joey Bosa's personality, man. So that's that. That's my opinion on the Joey Bosa situation. Let's get to some of your comments because you guys are hilarious. Ray Lester says, no bozo zone at the link. Antonio Holmes says, Bosa been in the league 8 years? Wow. Yeah, it's crazy. Time flies when you're constantly hurt. By the way, Bosa does have 4 Pro Bowls. He does have 4 Pro Bowls, I believe. And he has 4 seasons of double-digit sacks through his 8-year career. Not bad, but just can't stay healthy. Kyle Kokorski says, Tone, what about trading for Max Crosby? Kyle, the Raiders are not giving up their best defensive player. You would have to give them a first-round pick. Probably a player, too. S. Blunt says, pass on Joey Bosa. Yeah, I'm with you on that. China says, Philly found a way to keep Swift healthy. Could they keep Bosa healthy, too? Interesting angle. I like your perspective because I am usually on the side of the Philadelphia Eagles training staff. They do an amazing job of taking care of their players. They helped DeAndre Swift secure his healthiest season of his career, which allowed him to have a career year, his first 1,000-yard season on the ground, which allowed him to parlay that into a 3-year contract with the Chicago Bears. He's earning roughly $7 million a season. So, China, you may have a point here. Ray Lester says, Sweat, Huff, B.G. Smith, Hunt, Johnson, and Williams can pay and can play end. I think we're good at D end. Yeah, but I think the concern, right, is the fact that Nolan Smith, unknown, Jalix Hunt, unknown, Bryce Huff, still trying to prove he can do it again. Patrick Johnson, I mean, young player, never really been able to make a big impact. Milton Williams, I like him, but he's a tweener. Not going to say anything bad about Milton Williams. And Josh Sweat trying to bounce back. A lot of unknowns. But I agree. I don't think Joey Bosa is the answer. Kyle Kokorski says, Tone, I would trade for him only if Chargers pick up most of the cap hit. That means you would have to give up a lot to get him because that cap hit is not no small feat. That cap hit is not no small feat. We've been live for 2.5 hours, you guys. Thank you so much, man. You guys have been tremendous. We've had, at most points in the show, we've had over 100 people in the live stream. I believe the most people we had at a given time was like 105, 108 people or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. We've had a lot of people in the live stream so far, and it's been really dope. You guys have been tremendous. As of right now, we have about 76 concurrent viewers, and I really do appreciate you guys. A lot of you guys have been donating to the channel as well. Want to give a shout out to J62 Moon for investing in Chalk It Up Sports, Relative Time Works for investing in the YouTube channel, Ross and Found donating twice to the channel, and the good brother S. Blunt. I appreciate him as well. And I'm grateful for all of you guys who have been watching the live stream in real time. Maybe you guys had to dip off and you came back. I'm grateful for everybody that came in and they've stayed to the end, right? That's been tremendous as well. I appreciate everyone who's watching this after the fact, right? Maybe you had to leave the live stream and you got to come back and watch it later on, or maybe you just missed it altogether and you're watching it in pieces. Maybe you're watching it in 15-minute increments, 20-minute increments, 30-minute increments, 40-minute increments, whatever it may be. I appreciate all the activity you guys are bringing to the channel. It means a lot to me. Aishan says, I would give away a second rounder for JOK from the Browns. That Nigerian linebacker is a dog from Pennsylvania. Played at Notre Dame. Yeah, man. I like JOK. And he one of the flyest brothers in the league. So I feel him on that. BG31, the good brother. Shout out to my man Bergay31. I got to get back with my man Bergay31. He sent me a DM. I didn't get a chance to get back to him yet, but as a matter of fact, BG, I'm gonna tap in with you, and I want to bring you on the show one day this week. All right, so I just want to plant that seed with you. Thanks for locking in on the live stream, my friend. Really do appreciate your time. Appreciate you giving me a shot. I know you got a ton of options, my guy. And man, you got history, so I appreciate you, man. And like I said, I'm gonna get with you on Twitter, and we'll be able to set up that day. I want to bring you on this week so we can talk Eagles. BG tends to be the more BG tends to see the world through Eagles colored glasses more than I do. But I love his passion. I love his energy. It's always fun working with Bird Gang 31. It's always fun working with him. And thank you again, Trey979, who's been constantly promoting my links throughout the show, my Twitter, my Instagram, the YouTube channel, my merch shop. Really do appreciate that. And he's been giving you guys the mantra, right? Welcome to Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. That's big facts. That's big facts. You already know it's love, Bird Gang. You know. Ray Lester says, your viewers are true blue types, Tone. Good content, bro. Thank you so much, my man. I really do appreciate it. You guys again, the amount of time you guys dedicated on a Sunday afternoon, right? You know, I know a lot of you guys didn't even think I was going to go live on a Sunday, but I'm going to give you guys more lives on the weekends. I noticed that a lot of you guys turn out for those. So I'm going to start giving you guys at least one live stream on a weekend. Be it when it's Saturday or Sunday, whatever it is, right? I noticed a lot of you guys like these weekend live streams because a lot of people take off. You know, a lot of people don't really put too much work in on the weekends because they grind so much throughout the week, which I understand, and I grind throughout the week too. But you know, I want to try to give you guys content at minimum 5 days out of the week, at minimum, and at maximum, I want to give you guys 6 days of content out of the week. That's my game plan. I'm going to give you guys between 5 to 6 days of content all throughout the week. And then one day I'll just take time for me. You know, got to take care of myself, got to rest my voice, got, you know, obligations, things like that. But definitely be on the lookout for your boy Monday through Friday and either Saturdays or Sundays. You guys are going to see me 5 to 6 days out of the week. Especially now that we're in training camp, preseason is among us. We're doing giveaways. You know, the merchandise is in flow. You guys are supporting that as well. You guys are active, smashing that like button. You guys are subscribed to the show. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta keep the energy flowing, man. The season is here. This is gonna be a hell of a season. It's gonna be a hell of a season. All right, we're gonna go for about 20 more minutes. I want to make it to the 3 hour. I want to make it to the 3 hour mark. That's what I want to do. I want to make it to the 3 hour mark. Somebody asked me a question too. Where is it? Kyle Kokorski says, Tone, what about Matthew Judon? Yeah, I heard Matthew Judon is not really having it with Gerard Mayo. I heard things with Matthew Judon and the Patriots are not looking too optimistic. Gerard Mayo says we're moving past the Matthew Judon thing. So let's find out what happened here. Let's bring this up on the screen and find out what happened. All right. Matthew Judon. All right. Okay. So it says here the first few days of Patriots training camp were controversy free. Then the pads came on, and linebacker Matthew Judon didn't practice, and it got a little ugly, and he missed a day of work. Now everything has settled down. Judon is practicing in pads, despite his discontent with a contract that pays him only $6.5 million in 2024. Wow. It says here, and I quote from Gerard Mayo, I expect all of our players to, I expect all of our players to dress in full pads. Okay, let me read this correctly. Quote, and this is from Gerard Mayo. He says, I expect all of our players to, if the dress is full pads, to come out here in full pads. I expect all of our players to, if the dress is shells, then to be out here in shells. Like I said, we're moving past the Judon thing. We're both in a good place. I think the team is in a good place and we're pushing forward. End quote. Says here, the fact that Judon didn't practice for a day and then was gone for a day before returning to practice suggests that he wanted to start a hold-in, but the team declined to cooperate. That's one of the basic requirements for a strategic hold-in. The team has to be on board with it. Otherwise, the player is simply refusing to practice. For Mayo, the situation is an example of the fact that once camp opens, things can and will happen. Quote, I had a conversation with Mike Tomlin at the ownership meetings, and he was like, every day is different. That's what it is. Just got to be ready to adjust. I talk about mental agility all the time. You have to be able to change on the fly. The opposite is rigidity, which I don't think I'm a rigid person, and I'm willing to learn from other people. So Gerard Mayo or Matthew Judon, excuse me. Matthew Judon is not satisfied with his contract situation. And okay, Ray Lester says, I'm in New England and Judon wants out. Yeah, I think I get that same perspective as well. Matthew Judon wants a new contract. It's kind of similar to the Hassan Reddick situation. Now, Reddick is younger, and both of those players are really, really, really good pass rushers. I think Hassan Reddick, as a matter of fact, let me look at Matthew Judon's stats. So Matthew Judon, he's not coming off of one of his best seasons. As a matter of fact, he was hurt in 2023, missed pretty much the whole season. But through 4 games, he put up 4 sacks. So he was very productive when he was healthy. And in 2022, he put up 15 and a half sacks. In 2021, 12 and a half sacks. So he's been getting better with time, right? He's his best years have been 2021 and 2022, but then he got hurt in 2023, and now he's 31. So you can't really blame the Patriots for not wanting to cooperate with the guy who's 31, coming off of a season-ending injury, despite him having a sack in every game he played in. I can't blame the Patriots for not wanting to play ball with his contract demands. But I will say, for the position, I think he is grossly underpaid. I'm not saying give him 20 plus million, but I definitely think he's underpaid. So to put it in perspective, the Eagles, if they made a move for Matthew Judon, they would have to give him more money. And if they didn't want to give Hassan Reddick the money, why would they give it to Matthew Judon? That's just my humble perspective. All right, let's see. We got about 15 minutes left in the show. Let's see what's popping around the league here. Let's see what we got going on. Let's see what's going on here at training camp with your Philadelphia Eagles. Ray Lester says, Judon is an impact player, and they've been underpaying him for years. Well, shoot, why? You know why? I mean, he been signing the contracts, right? Oops. He's been signing the contracts. V McFly, welcome to the live stream, my man. I know you're watching on Twitch. By the way, you guys, I live stream on YouTube and on Twitch. So I want to give a shout out to my Twitch viewers, right? You're seen, you're heard, and I appreciate all of you guys on Twitch. We stream on YouTube and we also stream on Twitch. I used to stream on Twitter, but Twitter changed the rules apparently. Apparently, you have to be a premium member. You have to have a premium account on Twitter to live stream. And guess what? I'm not paying Twitter a damn thing right now. Sorry, you guys. I'm not paying Twitter for a blue check. I'm not paying Twitter for to live stream. At least not right now. I'm not saying I won't ever do it, but not today. So shout out to my people on Twitch right now who show love. Appreciate you, V McFly. But yeah, Ray Lester, you keep signing those contracts. Even he was in Baltimore primarily in his career from 2016 to 2020. Then he moved on to the Patriots. And from his best years were with the Patriots. His most production came with the Patriots. Now I want to know, what deal did he sign? Okay, so he signed a 4-year deal. He went to the Patriots as a free agent, signed a 4-year deal, a 4-year, $54 million deal with an average salary of $13.6 million. I mean, shoot, like, you signed a deal. Now, in good faith, could they restructure? Sure, but it's the Patriots. You were there he was there in the Bill Belichick era. They not just throwing money at you. You play for the Patriots. If you play for the Patriots, you better understand that you better save your money and invest well, because the Patriots don't just throw money to they don't just throw money to the wolves. All right, Sean says Judon is excellent at stopping the run from the edge. Yeah, that's true too. He has value. And look, this is last year with the Patriots. He'll be able to write his ticket after the season. Just go out there, have a good season, and then you'll write your ticket. All right. Thank you guys for tuning into the live stream today. Make sure you guys continue to smash that like button. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, especially if you're new. It's been really dope kicking it with you guys. We got about 10 minutes left in the show. We're going to keep this thing going until let's see. We're going to keep this thing going until about 5:30 Eastern, 4:30 Central Time. We're going to keep it going until about then. I can't get over, how sharp Jalen Hurts has been. And, I don't really get too deep into training camp statistics. It's not something I really like to put a lot of stock into, but it does give you an idea of how the quarterback is performing. And as of today, Jalen Hurts has gone 132 pass attempts without an interception in training camp. He's been protecting the ball very, very well. He's been accurate. His anticipation has been great. Confidence in the pocket has been great. Leadership has been awesome. He's been demanding the best, demanding absolute perfection from his teammates. And I love everything that I'm seeing from Jalen Hurts, right? All we need to do is let it, translate and let it carry over to the regular season and be patient with that. But I personally believe that Jalen Hurts is going to have a career season. I think he's going to eclipse 4,000 passing yards. I think he's going to get around 30 passing touchdowns. I think Jalen Hurts is going to complete about 67% of his passes. I think Jalen Hurts is going to have a really, really strong campaign. And then A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley in the fold, right? And you got those young bucks who's trying to earn their keep. The offensive line. I think this is going to be a really, 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 really good season for Jalen Hurts. So let's see here. Based off of the notes that I'm seeing here from Jalen Hurts' training camp today, it says Jalen Hurts once again turned in another good practice. Hurts was mostly efficient while also mixing in some highlight throws to his top two receivers. During an 11 on 11 period, Hurts dropped the ball in the bucket to Devontae Smith deep down the right sideline, facing a gotta-have-it touchdown during a red zone situation. Hurts gave A.J. Brown a chance to make a play on a 50-50 jump ball to beat Isaiah Rodgers for a touchdown. Hurts also had a connection with Britton Covey in 7-on-7s for over 20 yards. The ball was a little low, which made Covey have to go with a sliding catch, which is nice by him, by the way. Listen, Britton Covey is, yo, I know we sleeping on Britton Covey for wide receiver 3, but yo, could Britton Covey be our Hunter Renfrow? Could Britton Covey be our Julian Edelman or our Wes Welker? And obviously, those are, Julian Edelman and Wes Welker, they were really good players. But, yo, I'm liking Britton Covey at wide receiver 3. He gets separation. He's small, but he's quick. He's very fast. He's shifty. You feel what I'm saying? So, I like what I'm seeing from Britton Covey. I'll read that again. It says here, Hurts also had a connection with Britton Covey in 7-on-7 drills for over 20 yards. The ball was a little underthrown or low, which made Britton Covey have to go with a sliding catch, but it was placed where no defender could have had a chance to get it. Hurts also avoided pointlessly taking off running after holding onto the ball for too long. His decision-making was quick. Hurts has still yet to throw a pick this summer. He's really only put the ball in harm's way like twice. And it's not like he's merely been a check down Charlie trying to avoid interceptions at all costs. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. He's been protecting the ball very, very well. I would like to hear the media speak a little bit more on him throwing the ball down the middle of the field. We hear a lot about him throwing the deep ball down the sideline and whatnot, but I want to hear more details about him utilizing the middle of the field, throwing the ball in between the numbers, in between the hash marks. I need to hear more about that because he has never utilized, not just him, but the coaching staff. They've never really maximized the middle of the field with Dallas Goedert. They need to maximize that. I think that'll take this offense to the next level. Ray Lester says, I watched those 25 or so 11-on-11 reps. Hurts led the offense and they look good. China says, Britton Covey's cooking. I feel that. Robert Smith says, I never felt that Nakobe Dean was a starter in this league. Hey, man, you was early to the party. Now we all finally starting to get there. Kyle Kokorski says, I put Covey in the slot. Yo, facts. Facts. I like bringing Covey in the slot. All right, Sean says, can Covey run and block is the big question, Tone. Well, you don't need him to do that. You don't need him to do that. You're not going to put Britton Covey out there in a situation to do that. You feel what I'm saying? That's just not what he's going to do. He's fearless. I'll say that much. He's very fearless, but they're not going to put him out here to do that. He's too small. You don't want him. He's smaller than Devontae Smith. Ray Lester says he hit Wilson on the blitz hot route down the middle on Friday. Okay, cool. Thank you, Ray. That was the day of the public practice, right? No, Friday was the 2nd. Thursday was the public practice. Wait, I'm trying to remember. Shoot, I'm getting my days all mixed up. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, man. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. China says, Hurt said this is the last season y'all gonna act like Trevor Lawrence or Herbert is better than him. Yo, facts, man. I feel like Justin Herbert is the most overrated quarterback in the NFL. I think Justin Herbert is the most overrated quarterback in the NFL. He's a stat patter. That's all he is. He's Phillip Rivers 2.0. The only difference is Phillip Rivers actually has some level of playoff success. Like Justin Herbert is like Justin Herbert is the new is Jay Cutler 2.0 minus the attitude, minus the asshole demeanor. Justin Herbert is a stat patter. He doesn't win crucial games. Jalen Hurts wins more games than him. You can't sit here and say Justin Herbert never had weapons. He had Austin Eckler at one point, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. He had an offensive line with Rashawn Slater in them. Like, Justin Herbert is so overrated. He's so overrated. And I'll say that to anybody. And I will never, ever, ever forget him blowing a 30-point lead to the Jacksonville Jaguars, or a 27-point lead, however you wanted to count it. 27 points, 30 points. They blew a 4-touchdown lead to the Jaguars. So I'm not taking Justin Herbert seriously. If there was an Olympic event for who could throw the football the furthest, oh yeah, give me Justin Herbert. If there was an Olympic event for who can generate the most torque on a football, oh yeah, give me Justin Herbert. But when it comes to winning football games, when it comes to leading men, when it comes to winning crucial games, I'm not taking Justin Herbert. Sorry, he's overrated. He's overrated. Ray Lester says San Diego's defense was trash. You know what's sad about that? They got all that talent on that defense. So Brandon, and also, I'm not dismissing how awful Brandon Staley was, by the way. I'm definitely not dismissing how awful they were on defense because of Brandon Staley. Because they got two. You can't have Derwin James, Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, Asante Samuel Jr. You can't have that kind of talent and be that bad. It don't make sense. It don't make sense. All right, let's give you guys a quick injury update before we get out of here. This is the last topic of the show, you guys. I'm going to give you guys a quick injury update, and then we are out of here. I appreciate you guys for locking in on the content the way you did. Make sure you guys smash that like button before we get out of here. Make sure you are subscribed to the show, especially if you're new. I appreciate that. On top of that, make sure you guys check out the Chalk It Up merch shop. The link is pinned to the top, and it's also been dropped in the live chat as well. And the links are under the video. You can pick whatever shirt you want and invest. And also, by the way, you guys, I've been doing giveaways all throughout training camp and the preseason, and we're going to keep it going as well. We're going to keep it going through the regular season. We're going to keep it going through the playoffs. We're going to keep this energy going. We're going to keep this energy going all throughout the NFL season because you guys deserve it. I have winter gear here, Eagles gear. You know what I'm saying? I got caps. You feel me? I got what else we got here? Yeah, like I said, hats, gloves. You know, I got it here for you guys. You feel me? So we're going to be sending out merch all throughout the year. Like I said, make sure you guys check out the Chalk It Up merch shop. You see that right here? Beautiful. Just beautiful. Look how the artwork just blends into the fabric very well, very smooth, very comfortable. Oversized t-shirts, my man. Oversized t-shirts, that streetwear look. You dig me? I got on the black one. That was a tan one. Make sure you guys check out the merch shop. It's fully available to you guys. You know what I'm saying? I just want to get some housekeeping out the way before I give you guys the injury report. It comes in tan, or otherwise known as eucalyptus. And on top of that, it comes in black, the one I have on right now. And man, oh man, I know you guys will love it. So yeah, before I get out of here, let me give you guys this injury report. And I want to give a quick shout out to the good brother, Mark Johnson. Mark Johnson is one of my giveaway winners. Keisha White is also one of my giveaway winners. Keisha is going to receive her gift by Tuesday. Keisha, I checked the tracking information today. It should be to you by Tuesday. So be on the lookout for that. Shout out to Jameer Adams as well. Jameer Adams is my other giveaway winner who received his gift. And this is Mark Johnson. Mark Johnson received an authentic Kelly Green Eagle snapback from me. So shout out to Mark Johnson for sending in the fan photo of his gift. And I really, really, really do appreciate him for being active in the Chalk It Up sports community. Really, really, really do appreciate you guys. And I appreciate you, Ray, for wanting to invest in the channel as well. All right. Now, let's get to the injury report, and then we're out of here, you guys. We've been live for over 3 hours, my longest live stream in a while. I was feeling it today. Hey, Ishan got his. Hey, shout out to Ishan. Let's go. I appreciate you guys. And again, just a heads up, my merch shop, my store, my merch is powered by spring.com. So every item is made to order. So it's going to take about 2 weeks to get to you. Okay. So be patient. Trust me, it'll get there. It took about 2 weeks for me to, it took about maybe 2 weeks for me to get my shipment as well. So it's coming to you. And trust me, when it got here, I was not disappointed. So that's why you guys should get in on it as soon as possible. So you'll have it ready to go for week 1. And you'll be at that tailgate showing off. All right. Injury report. So let me bring it on screen here because sharing is caring. All right. Let's zoom in. Give ourselves a good look at this. Okay. So this is the latest injury report for your Philadelphia Eagles. Landon Dickerson knee. He returned to practice today. Mekhi Becton has been battling an illness. He did not practice. And he's expected to be back real soon. And Eli Ricks has also been battling an illness as well. Tyler Steen has missed 4 straight practices with an ankle injury. Paris Campbell was out today with a groin injury. This is his first injury throughout the training camp. Mekhi Gardner missed his 2nd straight practice with a hamstring. Josh Jobe was upgraded to limited due to a concussion. Brandon Smith did not practice due to a concussion. Oren Burks with a knee hasn't practiced since the first day of training camp, which is not good for him. He may not even make this roster because of that. Trevor Keegan, the rookie out of Michigan, Trevor Keegan seemingly got banged up during practice, but he didn't have to visit the trainer's tent or go back inside the facility. So, you know, he probably got his bell rung a little bit, but he seems to be okay. AJ Brown was checking out his hand after a rep, but he didn't miss any time, which is great to hear. And Sidney Brown is still on the active PUP list, and Cooper DeJean is still on the active non-football injury list. And we haven't received any update on Cooper DeJean's timeline to return. It says here by Nick Sirianni via Brandon Lee Gowton of Bleeding Green Nation, says him not being out there sets him back, but he can get those mental reps. So there's a strong chance, just based off this information, that Quinyon Mitchell is going to start the season at nickel, and either Isaiah Rodgers or Keely Ringo was going to start opposite Darius Slay at the cornerback 2 spot. And it's straight like that, Eagles fans. I am so grateful that I had this time to kick it with you guys on a weekend, on a Sunday fun day. I know some of you guys probably went to church. Maybe some of you guys ran some errands today. Maybe some of you guys just kicked it, right? I appreciate you guys for locking in on the content the way you guys have. I want to give another special shout out to my giveaway winners, Jameer Adams, Mark Johnson, and Keisha White. Keisha, your gift should be there by Tuesday, and Jameer and Mark have received their gifts already, which is so dope to see and hear about. On top of that, I want to give a shout out to Antonio Holmes says it made my long drive worth it. I'm glad I was able to make it easy for you, Antonio. You my brother, man. Me and you got the same first name, so you got a special place in my heart. Oh man. So Dope King says, what's good, Tone? Noah Lyles talked his ish and backed it up. Hurts MVP season. I know that's tough, man. I love that. I love it. Shout out to the Nico and Stephen Scher family. I appreciate you guys. And shout out to shout out to baby girl Sarah. What's going on, Sarah? Hope all is well. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good day. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Scher family. Appreciate you guys for always showing love. And shout out to my OG, Sir Jam. My OG, Sir Jam, sent me a really beautiful email. And also, if you guys want to send me emails, anything you want to send me, any kind words, anything you might want to see in the show, you can reach out to me at chalkitupsports52@gmail.com. That's chalkitupsports52@gmail.com. You guys can correspond with me if you guys want to see certain things on the show. Maybe you want to make a suggestion. Maybe you have a topic you want me to hit. You guys can correspond with me and interact with me via this email. Once again, that's chalkitupsports52. Y'all know where that 52 come from. Super Bowl 52, baby. chalkitupsports52@gmail.com. Take it down, write it down, take a picture, screenshot it, whatever you got to do. If you want to correspond with me, tap in with me, make any suggestions for the show, reach out to me at chalkitupsports52@gmail.com. Like I said, you guys, I'm grateful that I was here with you guys for a Sunday fun day. Shout out to Ross and Found for donating 2 times to the YouTube channel. Shout out to my man S Blunt for always showing love, donating. Shout out to Relative Time Works for breaking the bank with his $10 donation. Shout out to J62 Moon for donating as well. I don't take your investment. I don't take your time. I don't take your support and your love for granted, you guys. And it's straight like that. Smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit the notification bell. Stay active. Stay humble. Stay healthy. And most importantly, stay hungry, you guys. I've been your humble host, Tone DeShields II. And this has been a 3-hour edition of Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game.